Free assembly and delivery on grills, $399 and up from brands like Weber and Traeger. Need that deck touched up? Do it and save $10 instantly on a gallon of Cabot exterior stain.
From the Blazy Electric Studios, this is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt, WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland. Michigan sports aren't just a game, they're a way of life. And now we've got a show dedicated to die-hard sports fans like you.
Your mics are hot.
Hosted by a guy who's borderline obsessed with the wins and losses of all your favorite teams.
He's crazy.
Every weekday morning from 9 to noon, Ben Bosscher brings you the talk that matters. The teams, the stories, and the players you care about most. This is the Ben Bosscher Show. Appointment radio across the state.
Remember that. Hello, and welcome into the Ben Bosscher Show, live on this Wednesday here in the Great Lakes Bay region, live on YouTube as well, and today we are live from the Midland Country Club as the Dow Championship week of festivities has begun. The actual tournament begins on Thursday, the Pro-Am here going right now as we speak. We're kind of overlooking hole 18 right now. This is real exciting stuff. This is the first time we've brought the Ben Bosscher Show remote here in the Great Lakes B region. This is week number 4 of the show. So the fact that we were able to come out here to such an event for the not only just Midland, but the Great Lakes Bay region in general, so much traffic in the area. People come from all over the state and all over the country to not only compete in this event, but come and watch it too. Huge event here, of course, the LPGA Tour in town with the Dow Championship here at Midland Country Club, and we decided, hey, let's do the show right from here. Kyle Sandal's still producing for us right here in person. Jackson Baker's back in the Blazy Electric studio. You pumped up for this?
Yeah,
this
live
is fun.
Producing live on location. This is pretty sweet. Yeah, I'm super excited to be here. Big golf fan. First time I've been to an LPGA event, and this is just, it's very exciting. We got a great view here like you talked about. You can see it when we're in and out of breaks and stuff, and it's going to be good weather so far today as well. Hopefully throughout the rest of the week as well. But, man, I'm just pumped to be here. This is going to be a really fun time.
As long as it's not 95 degrees anymore.
Yeah, I saw
that seems to be ideal.
I tuned into the huge show yesterday at the beginning, and Bill was just talking about how miserable it was when he was playing on Monday because of how hot it was.
He's probably out there golfing right now. Or maybe we'll see him come through hole 18 here at some point. We've got a good view of hole 18. We can't really see people teeing off from where we are. You want to flip the camera and show the people? Yeah. We can't really see people teeing off, but once in a while we'll see a golf ball kind of come right into the green. It's like an island hole to end the course with the a bunch of stands overlooking it by the water. So a real nice ending to the course. This is going to be an extremely fun week here at the Dow Championship. Obviously, things kick off tomorrow in terms of the actual tournament. We'll have some more details on that in terms of some previous winners, some previous winners who are still competing in the tournament. This is the only event in the LPGA Tour where there's partners. Everyone's paired up this week. So the first 2 days, two of the 4 days are going to be scramble, something you and I always enjoy, and then the other 2 is just a foursome where they end up taking the best score at the end. So we'll get into a couple more details later, some course records throughout the show, but it's pretty hard to sit here on this Wednesday, Kyle, and not start things out with that Tigers game that we saw last night, because yesterday in the Tigers game, it was once again somewhat of a weird game because we had another rain delay. The Tigers cannot seem to escape the rain right now, even though they're back in Comerica Park. We had rain delays when they were there last weekend. Then they go to Tampa, have some more rain delays. Now they're back in Detroit, even more rain delays, even though I don't think it actually ended up raining in Comerica Park. But the game ends up starting about an hour and a half later than it is supposed to. Tarik Skubal's on the mound, and it just doesn't end up starting out the way you'd think when you think of Tarik Skubal. Our lock of the day did not hit again because we had Tarik Skubal 6 up, 6 down. Well, he didn't even get through one. Walked the first batter in a very unusual way to start a game for Tarik Skubal. It's back-to-back starts. He's had to kind of deal with some weather at the beginning, and it's pretty hard to not take that into consideration because he started out in a 3-0 count, which you just never see. He ends up walking the first batter and then giving up a home run in the next at-bat. So automatically the Tigers go down 2-0, and then in the next inning, it'd be the superstar outfielder Denzel Clark who hit a 2-run bomb. So Tarik Skubal ended up giving 2 runs yesterday. It's not his best outing. Luckily, the Tigers' offense genuinely exploded yesterday. I want to get into that in just a second, but in terms of the Tarik Skubal thing, I think it's interesting because we held him to such a high standard, and I think that that's pretty remarkable accomplishment to get to for a professional athlete, where when they don't have a lights-out killer performance, it's almost a disappointment. And the Tigers won their game yesterday. He got his 9th win of the year, but he didn't look like a superhuman. And the fact that we're kind of disappointed in that speaks to the level that he's reached in the past calendar year, whether it's this year or the end of last season. He was so hot for so long that you can't expect him to have a historic performance every time he's out there, and that's kind of what happened yesterday. We hold him to such a high standard, and I think even when it's not his best outing, the Tigers still end up picking up a win. It just speaks to the level that he's gotten to and what we expect from him every 5 days, even when it doesn't go necessarily as planned. We have maybe an unfair expectation for what he is at this point.
Right, but
it's the last level to get to in terms of professional athletes.
Right.
It's the 1%. I'm not even talking just baseball. It's the 1% of athletes that get to it where you just expect every time they go out there to be awesome.
I don't think it's unfair expectations, though, because he holds himself to the same expectation. He was super upset with himself giving up that home run to Rooker right away, and he bounces back well, right? He still gets up and count. He's still forcing the early count swings by the Athletics, but that stretch he was on in July of 2024 to about May of 2025 was genuinely one of the most unreal stretches a pitcher's had in the league's history. He has been that good in that stretch. So in June, we talked about this even before his start yesterday, how the strikeouts are at 8.5. He's had 6 the last couple outings. What a disappointment. It's not a disappointment, obviously, but I think him holding himself to that standard and that expectation doesn't make it unfair for the fans and people like us to hold him to that expectation as well.
Who was the last Tigers player to have that sort of standard? When they go into a slump, it's almost shocking. Is it just Miguel?
Probably. Guys from that era. Verlander the same way. When Verlander doesn't go 7 innings, 10 Ks strong, what are we doing?
He stunk.
Blow up start, So and Cabrera the same way, but it was nice to see the offense actually step up in a Skubal start, because it seems like those are the days when, not purposely obviously, but it seems like the offense seems to take a day off when Skubal's on the mound, because they usually don't need to put up more than 2 or 3 runs to win the game. But yesterday, they bounced back immediately. Kerry Karp follows up with the homer right after the homer from Rooker, and then they bounced back again to tie it up 4-4. And once it was tied up 4-4 in the 3rd inning, you were okay, the Tigers are obviously winning this game.
Right.
Skubal's not giving up more runs than this.
Who deserves, we talked about this last week, whether doing a series MVP or how the Pistons do that, the belts, they hand it off to each other after wins. The Lions obviously hand out game balls. We talked about this last week. If the Tigers had a chain that they were handing off to a series MVP, after one game, I think there's 2 people that kind of take the lead. It wouldn't be Tarik Skubal. It'd be Riley Green, who is by far having the best month of his career. Another 4 hits yesterday. He goes 4 for 5. Or it'd be Wenceel Perez, who just continues to, he didn't make the initial roster because his back flared up right at the end of spring training in the last spring training game. And it was almost maybe this is a good thing for him because there's not really any room for him on the roster anyway. And ever since he's come back from this injury, not only has he been an effective player, he's been one of the best hitters on the team because he's doing it from both sides of the plate. Yesterday, he has not 1 but 2 times where he guns an Athletics player down, trying to turn a single into a double. And Benetti had the great call. It was that was a terrible idea. Yeah. It's just a mistake to try to turn that into 2 with Wenceel Perez out in right field. Him doing it not only on both sides of the field, but both sides of the plate. He's taken another step this year in his development to the point where it's still early, and we did the exact same thing last year where it's whoa, this guy is kind of taking the field by storm. All of a sudden has really great numbers, and then kind of dialed back at the end of the season. But he's doing it once again and to an even higher level to where right now Wenceel Perez is, to say he's one of the scarier hitters in the lineup probably isn't true, but every time he's up to bat, you kind of do expect some sort of spark to happen because he's not going down easy, I guess is what I'm
right. Well, and the fact that he's doing it from both sides of the plate, I think, makes him one of the scarier hitters, at least for the Tigers, right? They don't have another switchy in the lineup, and he's been effective from both sides of the plate with power. It's not like he just has base hits from one side and power on the other. He's equal on both sides. I think you do give it to Perez because, one, it's just kind of boring to give it to Riley Green again. We've just been doing it.
Riley's been something else. This is the best month of his career.
Oh, for sure.
Like we talked about last week.
This could be the best month of his whole career when it's all said and done, man.
He's only 24.
I know,
but I mean, put that kind of ceiling on
He's
him.
been that good. Like,
yeah, I'm kind of in disbelief at every single game now with Green because, I mean, we had the conversation last week too. That was like, who's the face of this team? Is it Green or is it Skubal? And I don't think there's a right or wrong answer there.
He must have heard you,
Riley
though.
Green. Maybe.
Ever since you've been talking about that,
Maybe.
like he's just been on a tear, and then Skubal has his probably worst start of the year last night.
Here's the good news about that conversation. I think the Tigers now legitimately have two guys that you could consider the face of this team. Whereas before, we're kind of just pulling it together. We've got some good players. We've got some good bats. We're scrapping it together and finding out a way to win. Right now, Riley Green has this team on his back. Not that he's not getting any support, but hey, we talked about it before. Like, the Tigers lack that true superstar. Riley Green may be budding into that true superstar right in front of our eyes here in the month of June because his numbers are just off the charts, and it's been an incredible watch. Again, 4 hits yesterday for Riley Green.
Almost up to 300 batting average on the season now, 299.
On the season.
Just out of nowhere.
He's struggled against the lefties, but it hasn't mattered very much. It really hasn't. I know those strikeout numbers are pretty high, amongst the top in the American League, but the upside in his swing every time he lets that thing rip, it's just worth it. I'll live with the strikeouts. Usually have some better at-bats, like the Gleyber Torreses of the world where you're not getting a ton of Ks. I'm completely content with letting Riley Green let it rip at all times because the upside of it is just so high with him. And it's the biggest reason to me, other than Tarik Skubal, that the Tigers are in first place. And I didn't even mention, I don't know how we went this far without mentioning, first team to 50 wins here on the season. And
Skubal got his 50th win of his career last night, too.
And they're the first team in the AL to 400 runs. Really? Tigers offense. Offense.
What a historic game last night.
Dame?
Game.
Historic Dame. 989-837-6125. We're live from the Dow Championship here at the Midland Country Club. Again, this is Ben Bosscher and Kyle Sandel here live on site. This is a week that we've been excited for here for a couple of months, really, getting in preparation for this. So, again, today, tomorrow, and Friday, we'll be live right here looking over hole 18. The actual tournament begins on Thursday, and who knows, maybe we'll get one of the LPGA Tour golfers here on site with us for a little interview at some point this week. I'm excited. Hope you guys are too. We're live on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed there, please do. If you're live on 100.9 The Mitt here in the Great Lakes Bay region, we appreciate you as well. We'll be right back here on the Ben Bosscher Show on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
A beautiful yard increases both the value of your home and the quality of your life. Commercially, landscaping creates a positive impression of your professionalism and commitment to community, customers, and employees. Cervinsky Sod has been creating and maintaining outdoor spaces for 56 years. Whether your project is residential or commercial, the team at Cervinsky Sod Services will work with you to build and meet budgets and finish the job with top quality and in a timely manner. To get a quote, call 989-835-4810 or visit CervinskySodService.com.
Fueled by wonder and powered by science. At Dow, we're imagining better things for our customers and communities. It starts with our commitment to reach carbon neutrality by 2050, designing, building, and inspiring for the world around us. Because when we wonder, the things our world needs could be just one breakthrough away. That's Dow.
If you're near retirement or thinking about retiring, you probably have a lot of questions. How do you make your retirement savings last? How much should you take out and when? You're ready for retirement, but are your finances? I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Kevin Spencer. Let's work together to make sure your finances meet your unique needs over the long haul. You've done what it takes to get there. Now it's time to make the most of retirement.
Celebrate 4th of July with the Great Lakes Loons. Join us for our block party on Main, presented by the Michigan Army National Guard. Celebrate America's independence with face painting, balloon animals, the inflatable zone on the front lawn, and of course, America's pastime. The evening wraps up with a spectacular fireworks Loontacular, presented by Farm Bureau Insurance. For tickets, visit loons.com. This isn't just baseball. It's the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team.
They tell us we're more connected these days. We have cell phones, email, text messaging. Yet we've never felt more disconnected from the people we care about the most. We need a place that's all about bringing us together. Say hello to the Great Lakes Bay region, where towns like Saginaw, Midland, Bay City, Birch Run, Chesaning, and Frankenmuth help us leave behind the overscheduled world we live in and visit a place we haven't seen in a while. One where the people make us feel right at home. And we remember just how bright our kids' eyes get, peeking through a riverboat railing, just to catch a glimpse of the wildlife. So let's go fishing, bird watching. Let's blow the suds off a local tap, take a tall ship dinner cruise at sunset, or stop by a festival just because the name made us smile. Right here in the Great Lakes Bay region, where reconnecting with what really matters is pure Michigan. Your trip begins at Michigan.org.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
It's officially the summer months. Midland's go-to spot for all your gardening needs is Maple Hill Nursery. From vibrant colors and shrubs to flowers, trees, and seasonal plants, they've got your garden covered. Expert advice from local growers who care about your success as much as you do. Quality plants, quality soil, and all the tools you need to make your yard bloom. Stop by Maple Hill Nursery to get inspired and grow something beautiful this season. Find them right here in Midland, your garden's new best friend. Kyle, we are live right here from the Dow Championship at Midland Country Club. Do I feel a little bit of rain coming in?
I think it did start raining, yeah, just a little bit. And obviously you can hear the fountain a little bit, so that maybe that's just playing into your head, but...
It's like a little Mandela effects thing. No, that'd be like a placebo effect.
Right,
I hear it.
Yes.
I hear it, and then I start to feel a little bit of rain. I could have swore I thought it was misting a little bit.
I think it was, yeah. We're hoping for good weather all week, though.
Anything's better than... Actually, you know what?
I don't think so.
Here's my hot take on weather.
We're doing weather
we sound
takes
like boomers
at
right now.
9:16 a.m.
The days like Monday, where it's like blazing hot, I don't like when I complain about it. If I catch myself complaining about it, I try to stop myself because it's so much better than it being freezing cold and in a blizzard.
Could not agree more. I don't think I complained one time about Monday, and I was outside a good amount. I would so much rather have the 95 and hot than honestly even like the 80 and humid and muggy out.
Well, I got bad news for you. That's probably what it's going to be the rest of the week.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying Monday. Like I'll take Monday every day of the week.
So here at the Dow Championship again, this is the 6th year that this event has taken place. Last year, Yin and Tarik ended up taking home the $365 million purse, and they are going to be partners once again here. Again, this is the only LPGA Tour event where they are partnered up. So, Kyle, on days 1 and 2 of the tournament, we have foursomes, right? So 18 holes. Days 1 and 3, it's foursome, so alternate shot.
Yep.
And then on days 2 and 4, rounds 2 and 4, it's a best ball, so it's a scramble, which is a little bit better. The course record for the scramble in one day is 58, for a foursome 62, so not all that different from each other. So we've got a lot of good options for picking winners here, which we're going to have to do at some point.
Yeah,
on today's show, because it starts tomorrow. So by the time we're
we have
live
to make
tomorrow,
our predictions.
And I got to tell you, I did find odds.
I know you talked about it on yesterday's show. Yeah,
I found it.
Really?
I didn't know whether or not they were going to be up until when we started today, but I did in fact find odds. And last year's defending champions, Yin and Tarik, are actually the favorites coming into to this one
Lock
again.
of the day? Question mark.
I don't know. There has never been a repeat winner of this tournament here at the Midland Country Club, but Yin and Tarik are plus 300 coming into today. So
have you
I don't know.
ever played in an alternate shot type of run before?
No.
It's so hard. It's so much pressure is on you in an alternate shot,
and you just get less swings. Like you can't get in the rhythm of
things.
You
get way less swings. And you would like someone can crush their drive. Obviously, we're talking about this like these golfers aren't all going to hit phenomenal shots all week. But if you and I, let's say you go out and hit a best drive of the day, maybe best drive of your life, and it's like, wow, we're in a great position here. All I got to do is chip on 100 yards, and then we're up and down for birdie, and then you just shank it 5 feet, and then you have to hit again. It's just the alternate shot is tough.
Speaking of chipping, remember how I told you on Monday I went golfing over the weekend and I threw my golf club because I was so angry because I couldn't hit a ball onto the green.
Right.
I just keep hitting it over. I fixed it.
Just like that, you fixed it?
I went to the range yesterday, and I figured out what was wrong with it. I was standing way too far away from the ball, so I ended up coming a lot closer, and now I can actually get under the ball rather than shooting it over the green every time, which was making me go crazy.
It's all about that front foot, man. You got to
That's what I said.
All the weight in your front foot, back. You put the ball in the back of your stance, light swing.
I watched some guy on Reels teach me how to do it. He said lean forward.
So it's a generational range session then.
Oh, yeah.
Just fix your whole golf game.
Here's the only problem with it, though, and then we can move on because there's definitely people out there that are like, I don't care about your golf game. Usually everything splices right when I drive, and yesterday when I went to the range, everything spliced left. So eventually I'll figure out how to drive middle. It's just a matter of... but all I cared about yesterday was
fixing. That wouldn't be a slice if it was going left. That would be a hook. But
okay, yeah, we're learning.
You're learning, yes.
We're learning. 989-837-6125. So yesterday, Tarik Skubal doesn't have his best outing of the year. And again, I think that's like... It's not necessarily he stunk yesterday. He never has outings where he stinks. But to his standard... It just wasn't what he normally does. He gave up 2 home runs yesterday. It's the first time since May 22nd that he had given up a home run. So, like, it's the 1% of athletes that you put on that pedestal to where it's like you are shocked and floored when they have a bad game. Of just the guys in Detroit that are at that level, maybe a Panay Sewell is at that level. I would say a St. Brown is at that level. Maybe Gibbs is getting there, but I don't think he's quite there yet. But you're shocked when they aren't at their best. And Tarik Skubal got to that yesterday. He wasn't at his best, and it was like, this is so bizarre. But again, I think the fact that everyone had that reaction where it's like everyone was texting me, a couple of my friends were texting me. I guess not everyone was texting me. That'd be a lot of text messages. Like, hey, not Tarik Skubal's best game. And it's like, yeah, but the Tigers still ended up finding a way to win. So we can sit here and complain about it and talk about Tarik Skubal, like what was going on. I thought he didn't have as much command as he normally does yesterday, and maybe some of that has to do with the weather. But I more so think my overarching thought on Tarik Skubal struggling yesterday was we hold this guy to the highest standard. He holds himself to the highest standard. And I don't think it's unfair on him to hold him to that high standard because we've seen it, but we can't expect him to have a historic outing every single time he goes on the mound to where it's, a couple months ago it was 33 swing and miss pitches.
Yeah.
Then it's the perfect, not the perfect game, but the complete game with under 100 pitches. Like, we were getting those kind of games so consistently that we started to expect every time he was on the mound, it was something pretty historic. And the last 3 or 4 outings have been somewhat, for his standards, mediocre. For anyone else's standards, anyone would take that.
I was going to say, even his last 4 starts, like, I think the only thing that has been the red flag is the strikeout numbers. Like, he had 6 strikeouts in 3 straight starts, 8 last night against the Athletics.
Under on all 4 of those, by the way.
Right. But even in June, like, he still is only given, like, he had 6 earned runs in his last 2 starts. Last night being the big one with 4. But the start against the Cubs at the beginning of June, only gave up 1 run, went 7 2/3. Against Baltimore the following game, 7 innings pitched, scoreless. It's just because the K's that were like, oh, man, not the best Skubal start.
Then he didn't have 13
yesterday. You look at the actual numbers, and you're like, these are still, like, crazy good numbers. So, yeah, I think that last night it's uncharacteristic for sure just because we're not used to it. But it's nice that finally the offense backed him up. Like, he still has gotten the win in 4 straight starts in June, despite this being a bad month, and obviously it is not a bad month for Tarik Skubal.
And then the other news would be, well, I guess it's not necessarily news, but the likes of Riley Green, Wenzel Perez, and Kerry Carpenter coming alive here. Really everybody on the offense coming alive, but Wenzel Perez maybe had his best game of the year. Contributing on offense, but gunning 2 different people down trying to get to second base, I thought was where Wenzel Perez really starting to come alive here, because I've had question marks about whether or not he's a good outfielder or not. I think that has basically been answered at this point. He looks a little... how would you describe how he plays out in right field? Because he's so aggressive, and he's like this athlete where it's like in an alternate world, maybe he's playing running back for someone because he's low to the ground, big base. Like, he moves around so... like aggressively, if that makes sense, whereas like a Parker Meadows kind of glides. Wenzel does the complete opposite of that, but he still gets under most stuff, makes good plays, and yesterday guns 2 people down, trying to stretch singles into doubles. You take that in consideration, the fact that he's still mashing at the plate ever since he's returned. He's been one of the Tigers' best contributors since he's been back.
Yeah, he's been one of their best
level.
players.
Yeah.
Like, in general, he's been one of their best guys ever since returning from the injured list. And that wasn't necessarily expected, right? Just because of we had this almost idea that Matt Vierling was just going to take the right field spot with
I don't
Colt
know if
Keith.
that's true anymore.
Well, I definitely don't think it's true. But with Colt Keith moving to third, it was like, okay, once Vierling comes back, like, right field is his, and Perez can kind of sneak in his at-bats, when they're available to him. And that is completely flipped all the way around. Perez is an everyday guy at this point.
You tee off from hole 18 4 times. How many times are you landing it on this island and not hitting it into the water?
0 times. There's no way. And you know what I actually would do? If you're watching on YouTube right now, you can see this. The one time I would put it on the island green.
Be in the sand?
Bunker. The fact that there's the bunker on the island is just diabolical work.
It's good stuff.
It really is good stuff.
Again, we're live here from the Midland Country Club. Ben Bosscher Show here for the rest of the week as the Dow Championship is in town. We'll hit the news when we come back. Again, it's the Ben Bosscher Show live on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Last night, the Loons started a 9-game road trip, starting in Fort Wayne, Indiana, against the Tin Caps at Parkview Fields. Fort Wayne would walk it off 8-7. A walk-off walk would end things, but the Loons had bright spots, especially from the offense. 3 homers as a unit. Kyle Nevin had 2 of them. And here's how his second in the 4th sounded. Koenig's offering. Nevin swings. Hard hit in the air to left. Nevin has gone deep again. No doubt about that one. Absolutely smoked over the seats. 111 off the bat. Man, oh man. 431 is what they have it as. Whoa. Kyle Nevin makes it 4-1 Great Lakes. Loons and Tin Caps back at it. Pregame at 6:50 tonight.
I'm Sarah Stockford, host of 100.9 The Mitt Success Suite, a podcast highlighting the most inspiring female leaders across the Great Lakes Bay region. This month, we spoke with Mary Draves, former Dow executive and leader in the Midland community.
I think as we get a little bit older, we start to care less about what other people think.
That's a great point, yeah.
And so as I've gotten older, I think I've become way more comfortable in who I am and what I stand for. And, when you get to that point, all of a sudden, you become less apologetic about who you are. You also, you're like, hey, this is me, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
And I think in my 20s versus maybe I'm in my 50s now, it's a very different person. And that's just really part of the continuum of growth.
Listen to the full interview with Mary on 100.9 The Mitt's YouTube. Subscribe and hit the notification button to be alerted when new episodes drop. That's Success Suite with Sarah Stockford.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Ace Hardware and Sports in downtown Midland has some extra savings for rewards members this month. Let's clean up that yard. Save $3 instantly on select Roundup and Ortho weed killers. Save $10 on 64-ounce spruce, weed, and grass killer. You know what season it is? Grilling season. Free assembly and delivery on grills, $399 and up from brands like Weber and Traeger. Need that deck touched up? Do it and save $10 instantly on a gallon of Cabot exterior stain.
Detours driving you bonkers? Ideal Party Store's got your back with the Detour discount. While the Lafayette Bridge is closed, enjoy 10% off select craft beer 6-packs and 10% off 4 bottles of select wine, 750 milliliters or more, with 2 great locations, 908 North Johnson on the east side and 401 Salzburg on the west side. Ideal Party Store makes every detour worth it. Serving Bay City since 1934, we're here to make you the life of the party.
Celebrate 4th of July with the Great Lakes Loons. Join us for our block party on Main, presented by the Michigan Army National Guard. Celebrate America's independence with face painting, balloon animals, the inflatable zone on the front lawn, and of course, America's pastime. The evening wraps up with a spectacular fireworks Loontacular, presented by Farm Bureau Insurance. For tickets, visit loons.com. This isn't just baseball. It's the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team.
Sportsmanship has never been more important between the lines in athletics and outside those lines in our communities. To listen, to respect, to understand, to practice common decency, to have competition without contentiousness. Sportsmanlike qualities are essential components of life itself. Let's all work together to not only be good sports, but good people. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, welcome back in. Ben Bosscher Show. We're live from Midland Country Club here. Dow Championship in town. The Pro-Am's going on right now. We're watching people come through hole 18, sitting above it. You guys can see it on the YouTube if you're watching there. And if you're watching on the YouTube, you may as well hit that subscribe button. We'd appreciate it mightily here on 100.9 The Mitt. Let's get to a couple texts here real quick. First off is Dwayne in the chat who says, Wenzel Perez is the best all-around hitter on the Tigers. Skubal is not the best pitcher in baseball. It's Skeens and Fried. Stop making excuses for Skubal because of rain delays. I don't think
that's true. Back-to-back Skubal starts have been affected with the rain delays. I didn't think about that. How can you not use that as an excuse?
It's not even
Dwayne?
an excuse. It's just something that happened.
Right?
It's just actually something that's happened. He's had to come out of a rain delay both of those starts.
Look, Dwayne, every Yankees fan in the world would tell you that Max Fried is not better than Tarik Skubal.
Would they? Would John Vicari tell us that?
He better tell us that.
As for Wenzel Perez being the best all-around hitter on the Tigers, I can't get there. It's Riley Green.
Right.
I like at this point Riley Green's probably the best everything on offense other than probably the power hitter. But he's a more consistent hitter than all the other candidates for that spot.
Yeah, I don't agree, but to Dwayne's point, it could be the fact that he's doing it as a switchy and the lone one on the team. That could be the argument.
Any switch hitters just automatically the best hitter on any team.
That's why I don't agree. I'm just saying that could be used as an argument.
989-837-6125. We'll get to some more texts as the day goes on. But for now, here's the news.
The Mitt's Morning Catch.
All right, Ben.
All right, Kyle.
I got big news for you.
Tell me.
Dow Championship is being hosted here at the Midland Country Club.
Wow.
I know, crazy news. All right, let's get to the real news. NBA Draft. First round is tonight. The first time that they're... Okay, man. Sunglasses just came on for Ben if you're watching on YouTube. Before I was interrupted, I was saying...
I didn't say anything
You're right,
to interrupt you.
Yes.
You stopped yourself.
Center of attention over here. For the first time, there will be the first round tonight and the second round of the NBA Draft tomorrow night. But tonight is the first round of the NBA Draft. Are you excited for the draft tonight?
I'm excited for the draft tonight. Not as much as normally because I feel like in years past, it's not always like a consensus who's going one. Like the draft I'll always remember is the 2 years ago where Chet and Jabari and Paolo, you did not know who was going one until an hour before the draft.
Right.
And obviously we've had a generational prospect. I know like word gets thrown around a good amount.
I would not say Flag is a generational prospect.
Really?
No, I don't think so. I think he's like a one of the better prospects we've seen in some years, but
I think he's the most can't miss prospect we've had since
Wemby. Duh.
No, because people were worried about the injuries.
No, there's no way.
Wemby's the best prospect we've had since LeBron in terms of what his ceiling can be. But in terms of Cooper Flag, I think his like floor, he's going to be an effective, a positive, and like there's no risk in taking him number one. Does he become the best player in the league? I don't know. Probably not.
Of course, there's no risk, but like,
but this guy is like he could play on the Thunder or the Pacers in this NBA Finals right now, and I feel like make a difference.
I would agree. I just don't think he's I think, like you said, the word generational gets thrown around a little bit too much.
So how many generational prospects do you think we've seen
in our lifetime
since LeBron? If LeBron's like
3.
the standard,
if LeBron is one of them,
who?
LeBron, Anthony Davis, and Wembanyama.
No Zion.
Zion is on the same tier as Flag, I think. I think they're like right in that next group because Zion was that as well. I would agree.
Zion had more hype. We knew who he was from the time he was a junior in high school.
So we've known that about Flag as well too.
But Flag reclassified, and then all of a sudden it was like this is the guy.
Yes.
I don't know. I think Flag is a much safer prospect than Zion, even though Zion had a lot more hype. I agree. Every NBA official and scout and people in the front office think they're like the upside in taking Flag. Not even the upside, but there's just no downside. He's going to contribute right away.
I also think the situation he's going to almost makes him even like it helps him so much more.
Should probably explain why can help a team right away, right? Help defense,
yes.
Shot blocking,
tremendous
for his
shot blocker,
size.
even though he's not like a center, not a rim protector.
Yeah, he's kind of just being thrown in as a wing right away.
He's a 6'9", like super lengthy wing that has a handle, can knock down open shots, and is a insanely good help defender.
And has some of the best basketball I've ever seen, basketball IQ I've ever seen from an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
He's
Super
not looking
young.
for his own buckets. He's just always making the right play. You don't see that a lot from 18. He's so polished.
He'll be the
for his
youngest
age.
player in the NBA once he steps in. Can I quickly say, to your point about the 2022 draft with Paulo and Chet and that, we were talking about Shams yesterday. You remember that whole situation when Shams tweeted out the morning of the draft, like, there's a lot of hype that Jabari Smith Jr. will be picked first overall to the Orlando Magic. And he was working for FanDuel at the time, on FanDuel TV or whatever.
Yes.
And the odds changed, and all the odds fluctuated, and everyone, there was a big thing about it, about how what is going on with this. Shams the most powerful guy in NBA media, I would say, currently at the moment. Maybe it was him or Woj at the time, but that influenced a lot of the gambling aspect of things.
All I remember is I made a lot of money in the top 3.
Okay.
That's
I
what
love
I
the draft.
remembered.
I'm hyped for tonight. It's one of my favorite nights of the year.
Do you think Edgecombe ends up going 3?
Yeah.
To Philly. Okay.
I don't think Philly moves out. Yeah. We do have some more NBA news. The same team that Cooper Flagg will be going to, Kyrie Irving, opted out of his player option because he re-signed with the Mavericks on a new 3-year, $119 million extension. I think this is a pretty good price for Kyrie, right? Just shy of $40 million over the next 3 years.
Coming back from a torn Achilles, and with the age he's at right now, it's like you had no choice to do it if you're Dallas, right?
Of course.
It's not like you could let him opt in and then.
I don't know. With Dallas, you never know what they're going to do.
Correct. With Dallas, you never know. But this is something you had, you mortgage your future to build your team around Kyrie, AD, and now you bring in Flagg into the mix. So you have to make sure you get these guys for a long term. But what Kyrie looks like at this point in his career, coming back from an Achilles injury, a small guard already who's kind of first step reliant in terms of explosionness and getting to the rim. I don't know. I wouldn't feel great about that if I was a Dallas fan.
I think they're fine with it. We'll see, though, obviously. We'll see when he returns as well.
Which probably won't be until January.
Yeah, probably not, coming off the ACL injury, right? Yeah, so...
Achilles, right?
Was his Achilles?
I think it was Achilles.
Last NBA news, Kristaps Porzingis traded to the Atlanta Hawks yesterday in exchange. The 22nd pick in the draft tonight is headed to Brooklyn with Terrence Mann. Boston gets George Niang and a couple second-round picks.
Look, man, I get it. The East is weak with all the injuries that have happened to Halliburton and Dame and Tatum, but Atlanta's funny, man. Atlanta's just a funny team that they think that they can put Porzingis next to a ball-centric guard and it work, because we've quite literally seen this happen before with Porzingis and Luka in Dallas, and it didn't work. And Porzingis is a much worse player than he was 4 years ago, or however many years ago that was at this point.
Even a year ago, like him in the finals last year.
I think the teams in the East are just kind of convincing themselves that it's wide open, which it is, but teams that shouldn't be in contention are now considering that. And we actually heard from Trajan Langdon at 1 o'clock yesterday, and he thought the same thing about his peers, that teams were going to be a little bit more aggressive. He seems to be taking the opposite approach. We'll get to some of his thoughts a little bit later on in the show from his press conference yesterday.
Let's move on to some MLB news. Reds rookie pitcher Chase Burns made his debut last night, struck out the first 5 hitters, the first 5 Yankees he faced. That's a pretty stellar debut right there.
He pitched at Dow Diamond this year.
At the high A level.
At the high A level this year. It's like, all right, we've seen him pitch here twice. Yep, check.
In April. It was
like
crazy.
He's
2
pretty
months
good
later.
Here.
Yeah.
Oh, let's put him in Double-A. Oh, he's pretty good here too. Triple-A. Let's pitch him against the Yankees.
Pretty crazy. Just picked in the first round in the top 3 of last year's MLB draft.
Do you think this is a new standard? Not new standard, but this new era where all these prospects are flying through the farm system a lot faster than we've seen in years past?
For the college players, yes, I think it is, because I think that there's such a it seems like taking the high school guys is such a commitment to the development of the players, but we see how a lot of those guys have worked out to be super duper stars. So it's almost like, okay, if I'm going to take a college player, you better be ready in a year. And we're seeing that with a lot of these college guys. Now, obviously, you have the different scenarios with a Skeens, who is a college player, but also is going to be super generational, where he was up immediately, basically.
Generational.
Right. Paul Skeens for sure was generational, yes. So, yeah, I think with the college players, there's definitely more of an expectation of okay, we could take a high school player and develop this thing out, like the Max Clark versus Wyatt Langford thing, or you can just send it right now, and that's what a lot of teams are doing. Last couple things on the news, we'll get these out of the way quick. Aaron Rodgers, back in the news, man. Maybe a little sneak peek at Colin's Open today. Aaron Rodgers says this is probably his last year playing in the NFL.
I'm probably going to get lunch later, too. Probably going to have dinner. Probably going to go home.
Yeah.
Go to sleep tonight.
Probably going to do the rest of the show.
Probably.
Yeah.
You never know. Might not happen.
Why is this news? Why was this such a big... I mean, I put it in the news, so I guess this is my fault, but this was made us like a big-time headline. And the way he answered, he was like, yeah, it's probably looking that way. That's my last year. Like, I signed a 1-year deal. If I would have signed a 2-year deal, then I'd probably play for 2 more years.
We're feeding into the beast of the Aaron Rodgers news cycle talk.
We really are. Okay, last thing, and then we'll save the rest for later. Reese Olson, who I predicted would start in this Oakland series. I keep saying Oakland. Sorry. Oaklamento is how they should be referred to.
The homeless A's, I like to call
which I love how Benetti on the broadcast yesterday just kept saying, I know we're not supposed to call them Oakland, and then just kept calling them Oakland.
I prefer the homeless A's.
That works too. But he won't be doing none of that because he's making his third and hopefully final start in Toledo tonight. That's what AJ Hinch referred to it as. They hope that this is his final start, and then he'll be back sometime early July. I think July 1st is the day that he would be able to come back for Detroit. So that obviously would be really big with the Casey Mize stuff that has not been super consistent lately. Jack Flaherty, who's pitching tonight, has been blown up in his last couple starts. You hopefully can see him come back soon. But Reese Olson hopefully will be back that first week of July.
Yeah. No starter scheduled for Thursday, except it's going to be the CMU guy, right?
Oh, yes, you're right. I was going to save that for later. We can go do that right now.
Yeah.
Dietrich Enns.
Yeah.
Getting called up Thursday. 34-year-old lefty making his first appearance in an MLB game since 2021. Played 3 years in Asia, and he's a CMU alum. Fire up chips.
No schedule starter for Friday. Saturday is Mize. And then Sunday Night Baseball, 7 o'clock in Comerica Park. Tarik Skubal is taking the mound for ESPN.
Great stuff.
We talked about in the open, like, Tarik Skubal hasn't had his best month here in June, even though his worst month is every other pitcher's best month, or 95% of other pitchers' best month. There's just no way Sunday night he doesn't torment this Twins team.
Because he's also kind of due, right?
He's kind of due to torment.
As weird as that
Twins
sounds,
team.
he's due to torment somebody.
And I don't care what people say. Like, I think the players know when they're playing on national TV. I think there's a bit of a different feel, especially a Sunday night game where you're doing a 7 o'clock
especially
start.
For the Tigers. They just haven't had one of these.
Yeah. I think there's going to be a different sort of juice in Comerica Park on Sunday night.
I would agree.
989-837-6125. That's the number to get a hold of us here. The Mitt messages. We've got the YouTube chat going as well. Brad Tunney let us know it was an ACL injury, not an Achilles injury from Kyrie, so you were right.
I knew it.
Point for Kyle.
Thanks, B-Rad.
Point for Kyle.
Those sunglasses are so bad.
I had them on for like 1 second.
They really are.
I had them on for like 1 second. All right, when we come back here on the Ben Bosscher Show, again, we're live from the Dow Championship. We got to talk about Trajan Langdon because Trajan Langdon did a little press conference yesterday, and I think there were some big takeaways from it. That is next year on the Ben Bosscher Show on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Hi, I'm Dr. Brandon Scott at Scott Family Dental in Midland. As someone who was born and raised here, I would like to introduce myself by offering my services as your family dental provider. At Scott Family Dental, our mission is to provide excellent and personalized care using the latest technologies and best practices. Our highly trained and personable staff ensure you will feel comfortable along the way.
Dr. Scott is accepting new patients at 2509 West Wackerly Street next to the US 10 on-ramp. Scott Family Dental, let's bring out your best smile together.
Since 2007, the Michigan Baseball Foundation has invested over $1.8 million into our communities, supporting over 350 projects across 14 Michigan counties. From restoring Alma Little League fields to creating nature-based classrooms at the Chippewa Nature Center and enhancing accessibility at the middle of the Mitt Miracle Field, MBF is making a real difference. Every ticket to a Great Lakes Loons game helps fund these initiatives. Join us in building a stronger, more vibrant community. Learn more at MichiganBaseballFoundation.org.
Wackadoo! Bluey and her little sister Bingo are joining the Great Lakes Loons again this summer for Red, White, and Bluey Weekend presented by My Michigan Hound. It's 2 games of fun, laughter, and memories with our favorite Blue Healer. Whether it's Saturday night or Sunday afternoon, don't miss out. For tickets, visit loons.com. This is the Great Lakes Loons. everyone's hometown team. Local sports don't stop when the game ends, and neither do we. 100.9 The Mitt is your digital home for the latest news across the state of Michigan. From high school to college and the pros, it's all on our socials. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Just search 100.9 The Mitt and join the squad. Stay locked in on the latest stats and stories with exclusive video takes from local talent. Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. From the hometown heroes to the college legends to the pros on Sunday, 100.9 The Mitt is your home for wall-to-wall play-by-play coverage. High school football, basketball, and hockey.
Region champions for the first time in school history.
Michigan State football and basketball.
Touchdown, MSU!
The NFL, Thursday, Sunday, and Monday night primetime games. And don't think we forgot about your hometown team. The Great Lakes Loons.
That ball's over and out of here.
100.9 The Mitt.
Hey, I'm Ben Bosscher.
And I'm Kyle Sandel.
And the two of us are live every weekday on 100.9 The Mitt at 9 a.m. until noon, giving you opinions on the teams that you care about the most.
The Lions, Tigers, Red Wings, Pistons, those teams.
And a whole lot more. Whether we're breaking down a game from the night before, debating the biggest news from the day, or doing a draft or spread picks, we're always having fun. I mean, come on, it's our job to talk about sports. How could we not be having fun?
So if the big games aren't enough for you, if you're a real diehard fan, this show is going to be perfect for you. You can count on us to be your morning sports outlet every day.
The Ben Bosscher Show with Ben Bosscher and Kyle Sandel on 100.9 The Mitt.
I'm Ben Bosscher, and here's what I think. I think replay should be taken out of basketball entirely. I think 2 super conferences would fix college football. I think the best football, basketball, and baseball players of all time are currently playing. I think the day the Lions win the Super Bowl is going to be the greatest day of my life. I think Monty Williams sabotaged the Pistons on purpose, and you can't convince me otherwise. I think Jim Harbaugh is one of the best coaches of all time, but most definitely cheated, got caught, and ran away. And I think you should tune into the Ben Bosscher Show, fueled by Forward Energy, weekdays 9 to noon on 100.9 The Mitt if you agree with anything I just said.
Have you noticed bad behavior has become normalized at interscholastic athletic events? Some fans seem angry. They lack civility toward one another. Some even get aggressive and unruly. Time out! What is going on? This has to stop. Let's not forget, school sports aren't just about winning. And they're definitely not an excuse to take your frustrations out on the official or the opponent. They're about teaching lessons like perseverance, respect, and empathy, so students can learn and grow as people, not just as players. We all have a role to play in setting a good example for our students and teaching them these important values. So fans, it's time to step up your game and behave positively at interscholastic athletic events in Michigan.
This message presented by the MHSAA and the Michigan Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Welcome back into the Ben Bosscher Show, live from the Dow Championship here at the Midland Country Club, one of the most beautiful courses in the Great Lakes Bay region. We're above hole 18. How long should I do the golf voice for?
Oh, probably the whole show, yeah. Just kidding. Please stop now.
Not everyone can do the Jim Nance voice.
From the Dow Championship.
All right, so Trajan Langdon ended up doing a press conference yesterday at about 1 o'clock. So about an hour after we got off the air, Trajan Langdon was live on YouTube talking about, some off-season things, a pre-draft press conference, despite the Pistons not really having a first-round pick. And I think there was a couple things to really take away from the press conference. First and foremost, Trajan Langdon, I need you to use your big boy voice once in a while because he is a whisperer. Like, me doing the golf voice, here's the Trajan Langdon press conference voice. Go ahead, ask me literally any question. Has nothing to do with basketball.
What do you think about the Pistons being in the playoffs last year?
Well, the Pistons, I thought it was a great experience for
everybody. You're too close to the mic. You have to, back up and then do it.
Speak up, Trajan. That's my first big takeaway. I need you to use your outdoor voice, even though you're inside, because we couldn't hear you most of the time. I had to turn my computer up all the way, full volume, and I still had to turn captions on because I couldn't hear anything you were saying. So just piece of advice, speak up just a little bit. All right? Cool. My second thing for Trajan Langdon, it sounds to me like while all these other teams in the Eastern Conference are making a ton of moves, you see the Celtics already in contention here to try to get under the salary cap. Like, they're making moves in different ways. Atlanta seems to be buyers because they just traded for Kristaps Porzingis. The Orlando Magic seem to be buyers right now, trading for Desmond Bane. Everyone's trying to up their game, up their roster, going into not only the draft, but just throughout the course of the offseason. I bet there's going to be another team that makes a move at some point here in the Eastern Conference because, again, it just feels wide open, and a lot of teams could talk themselves into, hey, if a few things go right for us, there's no reason we can't come out of this conference and call ourselves Eastern Conference champions in 2026. So while a lot of Pistons fans wanted Trajan Langdon to follow that same route, Kevin Durant was thrown around, Giannis was thrown around, a lot of these guys were thrown around, Trajan Langdon all but said, we're staying course, right? I know a lot of my peers in the Eastern Conference are jumping the gun here. I know a lot of my peers here in the Eastern Conference are going to get aggressive because they have that mindset of teams are, everything's wide open right now in the East, but it seemed to me like Trajan Langdon was very content with taking this one step at a time, not rushing the gun, which is jumping the gun, which is basically everything we've talked about, the way that they should do it over the past 4 weeks, ever since their season ended. But we basically got confirmation that that was how it was going to go. Now, he didn't say, like, they're not going to try to improve the roster, but he all but said we're not going to make an aggressive trade right now without really understanding what we have in Ivy and Duran and what they are long term. And the other thing he said, number 3, would be they're not restricted free agents until next summer. It's the only time we got a little personality out of him the whole press conference, about 25 minutes long. And the very last question that somebody asked him was about Duran and Ivy and their restricted free agency and whether or not they're getting extensions this year. And he basically laughed it off and was like, well, they're not restricted free agents until next year, which makes me think there's no chance both of those guys, if any of them, are getting extensions this offseason.
It was brought up in that last point that he made. You know, when that was asked, he said, well, they're not restricted free agents till next summer, which is the truth. They are not restricted, but they're eligible for the extensions this summer. And he kind of mentioned, well, we're going to see if we can come to something with their agents, but he doesn't want to get into the details of the contracts and everything because that's unfair, and obviously they're never going to talk about that stuff.
Said the same thing about the free agents in Dennis Schroeder, Beasley, THJ.
But, like, this shouldn't come as a shock. Like, obviously, it's like he said nothing in this press conference, but he just confirmed what he's been a part of ever since coming to Detroit, right? He doesn't want to rush anything. And that's what he was trying to keep showing the people.
And I'm perfectly okay with that because I want to see what Jaden Ivey looks like. Because everyone wants them to make a big move. I think their big move should be viewed as Jaden Ivey's back on the team. Jaden Ivey, who's someone you drafted 5th overall with the draft, obviously, here tonight. Jaden Ivey's someone you took 5th overall, not to be some role player. Now, is he going to turn into the co-star you thought he was? It's still to be determined. But I don't think, despite all the other teams in the Eastern Conference thinking to themselves, we can win this thing, I think the Pistons should go into the season thinking, we've got a chance to win this thing, but we don't need to push our chips into the middle of the table, is the verbiage that Trajan Langdon kept using yesterday. I'm completely content with that because while all these other teams, it could hurt them in the long run to try to go all in, right? Orlando has none of their picks anymore. Orlando should be a good team here for the next 5 years. But
this is their team.
This is their team. They're not going to be able to upgrade it much from here. Atlanta didn't have to give up a whole ton to get Porzingis, but again, I did just think a team built around Porzingis at any points not making.
And they've also they're in a different situation than Orlando because they have already gone all in, right? They don't even have their picks with the DeJounte Murray stuff they did years ago. So it's like Orlando is in a situation where they can throw in all their assets they have now. Atlanta already doesn't even have assets and used barely what they had.
Right.
Say, hey, let's maybe try to do something this year. Trajan is just being much more calculated about when to make the move for the Pistons.
And the reason I'm so content with that is because they have Cade Cunningham, who I believe, like, I don't know why I would think anything differently from what I thought during the playoffs. I believe is one of the 5 best players in the Eastern Conference, 6 best players in the Eastern Conference. So if that's the case, there's no need to rush. You got to find out what you have from within and develop internally before you go out, jump the gun, and try to get a big-time guy by trading away all your draft picks and essentially saying, this is our team. I like the fact that the Pistons have some flexibility for the next 3 years in terms of when they're going to make their big move. It's coming at some point, probably not this offseason. 989-837-6125. Here's the thing, fellas. We are live from the Dow Championship here at the Midland Country Club. Dow Championship sets off tomorrow. but we are here for the Pro AM today. We'll be back here tomorrow as well. This is an event that I've been looking forward to for a long time, and I'm glad we're able to do the show remotely here. The setup's very nice. We're up here in the media center looking over hole 18. You guys can see it there on the live stream. This is an event I've been looking forward to for a couple of months here, Kyle.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
It's beautiful. Like you said, it was kind of a little bit of rain earlier, but the sun's starting to poke out a little bit. It's heating up. I just can't wait for tomorrow. I mean, I know obviously I'm happy to be here right now, but once there's actually action going on the course, we're going to get to see people trying to sink putts on 18 while we're doing the show. I mean, that's exciting.
It's real exciting stuff. And after tomorrow's show and after Friday's show, we may as well stick around, have some fun, watch the golf.
Why not?
Follow the golfers. This is going to be a week that I've been looking forward to for a long time. And not only that, but get to go home after this and watch some Tigers baseball. Hopefully the rain can finally stay away. We got Sunday night baseball this weekend.
We got the NBA draft tonight. Don't forget about it.
We got the NBA
Pistons
draft.
don't have a pick, though. Got to remind the Pistons fans out there that maybe aren't as tapped in. No first-round pick tonight for Detroit, but who knows?
I don't know.
Maybe a sneak up. Early second, though. Early second.
I was going to say, it seemed like Trajan was knocking on the door for a trade up here at the beginning of the second round. But then he also made the point, well, I think a lot of teams are thinking the same thing, which makes it a little bit more tricky to trade up because the value ends up skyrocketing a little bit. I think they end up picking at pick 37.
I think so, too. And that was a lot of the press conference was talked about that specific thing because the draft obviously being a day away. They said they want to take the best guy on the board at 37. You don't pick for fit that late into a draft, so they want to take whoever they think is the best guy on the board. We've seen a lot of early second-round guys make impacts on really good teams, and Andrew Nembhard, for instance, on the Pacers this past year. So we'll see what they do.
I've got a question for everyone out there listening, and it has to do with college athletics, and it has to do with power. Who is the most powerful person in college athletics? Because I think there's a couple different ways you can go with this. That's next here on the Ben Bosscher Show. Again, we are live from the Dow Championship here at the Midland Country Club. Good week ahead. Again, Ben Bosscher Show right here on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
It is the Scholar Athlete of the Month, proudly presented by Fisher Companies here on Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. This month's recipient is Logan Snyder from Bullet Creek High School. With a 3.94 GPA, Logan's a member of the varsity golf team, revitalizing a program that was dormant when he was a freshman 4 years ago. Logan great at golf and in the classroom and also volunteers, including at the Midland Miracle Fields.
I love working with those kids, and it's always so much fun to see them getting to play the game we all get to love to play. Just getting to see them going up to bat, hitting the ball, no matter how far it goes, and they're just super excited. It just warms my heart every time.
Logan will be attending Ferris State in the fall and plans to study in their PGA Golf Management program. To hear the full interview and nominate a local athlete for our scholarship program, visit 1009themid.com.
Tired of floors that snore? Walls that whisper, meh. Premier Tile in Midland is here to spice things up one tile at a time. They've got backsplash that'll make your pasta jealous.
What?
Shower walls that'll actually sing in the morning. And floors so fabulous, you'll consider eating dinner off them. Stylish, affordable, slightly obsessed with grout. Visit Premier Tile, located between Stark and Sturgeon, right off US 10. Or at PremierTileStone.com.
Wackadoo! Bluey and her little sister Bingo are joining the Great Lakes Loons again this summer for Red, White, and Bluey Weekend presented by My Michigan Health. It's 2 games of fun, laughter, and memories with our favorite Blue Healer. Whether it's Saturday night or Sunday afternoon, don't miss out. For tickets, visit Loons.com. This is the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team.
At the Great Lakes Loons, our commitment to community goes beyond the ballpark. Through the Volunteer program, Loons staff and even players roll up their sleeves to serve the Great Lakes Bay region. From packing food boxes to reading in classrooms and even cleaning up local camps and parks, it's hands-on work that helps build a stronger, more connected community. Volunteer isn't just what we do, it's who we are. Because being part of this region means showing up when it counts. The Great Lakes Loons, serving the Great Lakes Bay region since 2007.
If you served, we want you to get the health care and benefits you earned. We want you to come to VA.
There's never been a better time to apply. Under a new law called the PACT Act, we've expanded VA care and benefits to millions of people who served and their survivors.
No matter where you served or how long you served, check out va.gov/PACT to learn more about what VA can do for you and your family. Come to VA.
From the Blasey Electric Studios, this is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt, WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
All right, welcome back into the Ben Bosscher Show live from the Dow Championship, hour number 2 beginning right now. We're looking over hole 18. This is weather's finally starting to clear up here. Sun's coming out. This is a perfect day and a perfect week for golf here in the Great Lakes Bay region. So we're really excited about that. Being here for the rest of the week, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Yeah, this is a week I've been looking forward to for a while. So we'll keep you updated on some of the course records and who's playing. We should have some media availability here a little bit later on. So stay tuned here for a little bit more Dow Championship later on in the show. But Kyle, I was on a walk yesterday, and I started to wonder myself, with all these college football college football and college athletics really, realignment with the NIL and the transfer portal. Again, I don't typically have an issue with the NIL deals and these guys making money. What I have an issue with is how much people are transferring. I'd like to see a little bit more stability in terms of not having thousands and thousands and thousands of people in the transfer portal every year, and teams starting to really have to field an entire new team every single season because so many kids are hopping into the portal. I think that's somewhat of an issue. I think coaches being in a constant cycle is somewhat of an issue in college athletics. And I just started to think to myself, who realistically has the power to make big changes like this? Because initially you come to mind of the president of the NCAA and Charlie Baker. Seems to be the most powerful person in college athletics. That would make the most sense. But I'm actually going to go with an alternative answer. I think if Greg Sankey and Tony Petitti, the commissioners of the Big Ten and the SEC, if those guys actually come together and decide to steer college athletics in one direction, they could do it. And I think they would be in an unstoppable position to where if they really could come together and agree in really anything, everyone else would kind of have to follow suit. And you already see that with the 12-team college football playoffs. In terms of revenue sharing, the Big Ten and SEC get 60%. They are setting the guidelines. They are setting the standard, and everyone else is agreeing to. The commissioner of the ACC and the Big 12 and all the other group of 5 schools are agreeing to the terms set by Tony Petitti and Greg Sankey. Not negotiating, agreeing. And if Tony Petitti and Greg Sankey both got together and said, you know what, we don't like how much of the transfer portal is being used, you have to sign a 2-year contract. What's the NCAA going to do about it if the Big Ten and SEC are both like, yeah, we'll just create our own rules and we're going to play football in a different league, not under the NCAA's guidelines? That's what I've almost been rooting for here for a while, is for the Big Ten and SEC to keep expanding and for the NCAA to just kind of be pushed out of the system and pushed out of a position of power, because I think everyone can agree, Michigan State fans, anyone really, the NCAA, it's somewhat of a joke at this point. Like, I don't think they know what they're doing. I don't think they have a rhyme or reason for what they're doing. And I think they understand that they don't have as much power as some of these conference commissioners anymore, with how much experience they bring in the media rights deals and how they're negotiating them, the experience that Greg Sankey has. I think if those two conferences decided to team up, essentially, and put on their own college football playoffs and invited anyone from the ACC and the Big 12 to join their conferences and to get away from the NCAA, that to me is an ideal world for college athletics, and that to me would be the most powerful duo in college athletics. And I wanted to see what other people thought of who the most powerful person in college athletics is.
Is that already kind of what's already happening?
In a way,
in college football, at least in college football, maybe not in athletics as a whole, but specifically in the Big Ten and the SEC. I mean, we see them controlling a lot of what's already going on in football.
Mm-hmm.
This playoff is getting expanded. They've already talked about the X amount of Big Ten, SEC teams getting automatic bids. We're not hearing that about other conferences.
No.
and obviously the big moves of the 4 teams joining the Big Ten, Texas, Oklahoma joining the SEC, like they are already in control of what's going on. And the fact that those guys have controlled not just football, but it affects every single sport in the NCAA. So in all these conferences, I think it's already those two are the most powerful people. They have more control than the NCAA does. Right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the NCAA can't
Not
even...
individually, though.
Right.
They have to team up and come together to have more power than Charlie Baker.
And it's more of the NCAA just doesn't have any power aspect of it, right? I mean, they have not been able to control the portal and NIL situation that has affected specifically football and men's basketball to a super high level. And obviously they're implementing some rules now with players being able to get paid by the universities specifically. But still, it's been a really weird transition of the NCAA losing this power to the players, which it's not a bad thing, but it's just how it's happened.
Are the players that want as the players definitely have more power than they did in years past?
Of course they do, yeah.
But I think it's these conference commissioners, specifically the Big Ten and specifically the SEC, Tony Petitti and Greg Sankey, that are kind of controlling everything at this point, whether it's in front of the curtain or behind it. These guys are the ones that dictate terms in terms of who's getting money, how many teams are getting into the college football playoffs, the seeding, who gets buys. This is all controlled more so by those two conference commissioners than anybody else. And if that's the case, then I think it's only a matter of time before the NCAA is actually powerless, right? Before the NCAA legitimately has nothing to do with the college football playoffs, which I would be all in on. I want there to be an independent thing from the NCAA when they're deciding who the college football playoff champion is, specifically talking about football, because I can't stand the idea. First of all, I don't like the fact that opinions get people in. I don't like the fact that you've got a committee of 12, and sometimes it's based on, like, who. Remember who the head of the college football playoff committee last year was?
It was the Big Ten or Michigan guy, right?
Yeah, it was just Ward Manuel.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand why we put those specific people in charge when in reality it should just be a rankings-based sport at this point, because we are playing a professional-based sport. And if Tony Petitti and Greg Sankey wanted to put this thing together and say, here are the two leagues, the Big Ten and the SEC. Anyone else is welcome to join. These are leagues now. We're in control of them. We control your schedule. It becomes a semi-professional football league. I don't know who's complaining about that. It's not the college football but the college football is already dead, and right now I don't think anyone's in full agreement that it's all for good right now. It's a complete and utter mess, and I think these two commissioners could kind of come together and make it at least a little bit more of an organized mess. Is it going to be the same as it was? No. Is the regional aspect of it gone? Yes, and it's probably never coming back. But if we're trying to make the sport better, I think, to me, that's how you do it. Make it organized. Make it a semi-professional football league.
Yeah, there's no going back, right? We're in a new era of not just college football, but college sports in general. And football is the main reason behind that, but it affects every other sport. And to your point of the college football playoff becoming its own league, essentially, I mean, that is going to happen over the next several years, right? They've been slowly working their way away from the NCAA, or even just starting their own rules. They're in control of how all this stuff is going down, and the NCAA is kind of just forced to agree with it because of how much effect college football has on the entirety of college athletics. So I think, to your point of who's the most powerful people, those two as a duo, I guess, potentially is probably the answer.
989-837-6125, most powerful person in college athletics. Just a quick couple things on the Dow Championship that begins next week. So last year we had Yin and Thitical win the whole thing. That begins tomorrow. Didn't I say it? Did I say it begins today?
No, you said begins last week.
Oh, I meant to say begins tomorrow. Yin and Thitical won at -22 last year. Jennifer Kupcho and Allie Ewing last year, -21, so one stroke behind. And then Istrup and Madsen from Denmark, -19. Those were your top three last year. Yin and Thitical back in the mix today. There should be some media availability here soon. And they're the favorites heading into today at +300, or heading into the weekend. So the big storyline last year with the Dow Championship was this could be Lexi Thompson's last time competing in it. That was kind of the narrative around it. obviously one of the best women's golfers ever, and kind of hung it up professionally in terms of being a full-time tour member for the LPGA. Well, she is back this year. She's not in a full-time role anymore from a professional standpoint, but she is, in fact, picking and choosing which events she's competing at, and she chose to be here this week because the Dow Championship, it's such a unique event with the course that gets set up and the community that comes together, and specifically pairing up with a partner, I think makes this the most unique event on the tour.
Oh, yeah, it's super fun to see how good a duo can play together, whether it's the best ball or the alternate shot. So I'm super excited. Lexi Thompson, obviously one of the bigger names in all of women's golf, and I can't wait to run into that.
989-837-6125. We will be right back, and when we come back, we're taking a trip around the league. The Ben Bosscher Show, live from the Dow Championship on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Now, wait a second, Sharon. So the Midland Area Community Foundation runs the Midland Area Santa House?
You bet we do.
And Midland Area River Days?
Absolutely.
Plus scholarships for students and grants for local nonprofits? That's like hitting the cycle and impacting our community.
Anyone can step up to the plate and help build community capital for as little as $5.
$5? That's the cost of a snack at the ballpark. How do I get in the game?
Just visit MidlandFoundation.org and make a gift to our community investment fund. Every dollar makes a difference.
Join the team. Give today at MidlandFoundation.org.
At Aird & Garcia Insurance Group, they understand not everyone's insurance needs are the same. That's why they're dedicated to working with our clients to provide an insurance plan that's specific to you.
Whether you need life, home, auto, business, and farm, with their team's extensive knowledge and over 100 years combined experience, you can guarantee they work hard to put you in the best insurance position.
The experience matters. Aird & Garcia Insurance Group. Farm Bureau Insurance.
The new rebranded Matt Smith Modern Realty.
Well, Matt Smith Outdoors was really reflective of how I started my real estate journey, taking my outdoor experience, moving that into the real estate space to help people buy and sell land. So many people in this region ended up calling me and wanting me to work with them to help them buy and sell homes. This new brand was more reflective of what I'm delivering to people in this region every day.
Midland Eye Care wants you to know the pervasive use of technology can lead to digital eye strain, burning or tired eyes, headaches, fatigue, loss of focus, blurred or double vision. Overexposure light from electronic devices may also increase the likelihood of developing serious eye conditions such as age-related macular degeneration. To give
I would like reference to you. And she said, ask them right now. Okay. That's what I'm doing. Who would I inquire about?
Cameron. Yup. You know Cameron?
Oh, yeah.
CEO of Louis Loon.
One that's in your house?
No.
Okay, then maybe I'm not thinking the right one.
No, that would be Brandon.
Loker.
Yeah.
Who did you say?
Cameron.
Shit.
You're really crashing out today.
It's so bad. So, like, I am not okay.
Is this a minute playing or 30?
15.
Can you send me his number? Wait, I think I have it under Lou's guy. Can you confirm?
100.9 The Mitt.
Welcome back into the Ben Bosscher Show live from the Dow Championship. Hey, one thing I haven't mentioned is if you want to come to the Dow Championship, tickets are available at dowchampionship.com. Kids ages 17 and under get in for free, along with active duty and veterans get in for free all week. So a lot of good stuff here at the Dow Championship. Again, the tournament kicks off tomorrow. With that being said, I think it's time to take a trip around the league.
It's time to zoom out and go around the league.
All right, Kyle, I've got something good for us today. Neither of us have looked at this, so we are truly doing this blind. The article on NFL.com from Nick Shook is ranking each division by quarterback heading into the 2025 NFL season. So our job is to predict who is the best division if they're strictly ranking them based on quarterback. Where do you think that this list kicks off? Because instantly I go to...
It's an obvious one.
Okay, I go to the AFC West.
Of course.
Simply because they have Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert.
Right.
I don't know how Nick Shook feels about Bo Nix, but he's at least an above average
There isn't a bad quarterback in this division. And there's a lot of bad quarterbacks in the NFL.
Before we lock this in, what other division could it possibly be?
So it would have to be a team that has a stud, right? It would have to be a team that has another top-notch guy. The AFC North has two really good ones, right?
And Joe Burrow and Lamar. The problem...
You have Aaron Rodgers and
you have the
question
Browns
mark
situation.
Yeah.
I think that disqualifies
You have
them from
Sarah's
the situation.
favorite player, Joe Flacco.
Correct. NFC North, not a bad option, but the mystery around J.J. McCarthy, I don't think can allow them to be number one.
It's definitely not number one.
Are we locking in AFC West?
Yes.
Okay. Hopefully this is in the correct order. Oh, it's in reverse order. Hold on, I'm scrolling all the way down. I'm scrolling all the way down. AFC West,
yes.
Number one. All right. So,
and they have them. They ranked each quarterback as well. So they have like the average. So that's how they're doing this. They ranked every quarterback in the NFL, and then the average score is how they did it. So
I don't
it's
think
not
that's
just,
what they did.
Right? Average QBI rank.
Why is Mahomes 7 then?
Oh yeah, I guess I don't know then.
That doesn't make any sense. All right. So the next division.
Maybe Mahomes was. This is just last year. 7th best quarterback last year. Didn't have a great year.
Take it back. Take it back.
I'll bet against him too.
It's disgusting. You're breaking my soul right now. So okay, so if we're talking about the divisions going for, or who would be second in this?
I think we just go north, right? AFC North, Lamar, Burrow. But the other
they've
two.
got some bad.
Okay. Is there any other divisions that have 4 good ones? Because that's how this division was ranked first. 4 good ones with a stud.
So, the AFC East, I think, is interesting because I think there's still some people out there that like Tua, and if this is solely based on like some of that advanced stuff, that actually might favor Tua. I don't think it favored Drake May though. I don't. What if it's the East? Jalen Hurts, Jalen Daniels, Dak Prescott.
Oh, that's pretty good. But then you have like Dart or Russ. That's actually pretty good though. With Hurts, Daniels, and Dak.
I think my vote for second would be the NFC East.
I would go AFC North over NFC East, personally.
Let's see who's right. Scroll slowly. It's the NFC West.
Whoa. NFC West with Kyler, Stafford, Purdy, Darnold. I mean, yeah, I guess there's not a bad one in there, but is there an elite one? Stafford maybe, and then
Stafford's elite. I don't like
but
Kyler
then
Murray.
yeah, Kyler's good, and Purdy and Darnold are fine.
Okay, so they seem to be valuing like just don't have a bad quarterback in your division, which would make me think.
Okay, but there's no way it's not one of the two we just said next.
If it's based on what we've seen the first two, I would say the NFC East.
You're probably right. You're probably right. I would agree with you on that.
NFC East is my prediction. Both of our predictions. It is the NFC East. So here's where it gets tricky now. Do we go with the division in the AFC North that has 2 studs in Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson, 1 MVP and 1 overrated quarterback, and then 2 very bad teams, quarterback rooms beyond that, in Aaron Rodgers and whoever comes out of the Browns situation? Or do we go with another just all-around solid division, like basically the NFC North? That's who it would come down to. With Jared Goff, JJ. I guess you can't really say what JJ is
right,
at this
exactly.
point. And if this is based on
last year,
a model,
then Caleb is not great.
Because this seems to be based on a model rather than an opinion, and I don't know what you do with a guy who's never played.
And a guy that didn't have a great rookie year in Caleb Williams.
NFC South has to be last on this, right?
Oh, of course.
Or unless it's the AFC South.
You have Baker, and then
the AFC South is tough.
Yeah, they at least have Stroud and Lawrence, who are fine.
But you don't like Lawrence.
He's better than anyone in the AFC South, or the NFC South.
You think this is the AFC North, don't you?
Of course I think it's the AFC North. There's no way you have Lamar and Burrow ranked not in the top half of divisions.
All right, AFC North is our next
They have
guess.
the best duo of any conference.
You're wrong, pal.
Man, that is crazy.
You're wrong, pal.
Wait, the AFC East?
Josh Allen, Tua.
What is the argument here?
Do you want me to read the paragraph from this?
Yeah,
book?
read the whole
Ever
thing.
since Buffalo rose from the role of David to aspiring Goliath,
It's
Allen
just
has
because of
represented
Allen.
their strength. Last season, he won MVP and finished second in my quarterback rankings. That's why. Okay, he really did rank Mahomes 7th then.
Yes, I just told you this. It's based off of last year.
Some people, man. Some people. They just don't get it. They
They
just don't get it.
So you're telling me a foursome of Josh Allen, Tua, Fields, and May, which May I know you love. A lot of people are high on May. We're basing this off of last year, clearly. It's not like May was elite last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Fields didn't even play much last year. This is a pretty crazy spot for the AFC East.
Okay, but put it toe to toe with the AFC North. Josh Allen's better than any. He'd be the best quarterback in the division, right? Josh Allen would be ranked 1. Then 2 and 3 would be Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson in whatever. Lamar Jackson definitely come first,
right?
And then who would be the 4th? Because if it's an AFC East quarterback, then yeah, this division probably should be higher. Like, would you take? I would probably take Drake May or Tua ahead of Aaron Rodgers or whoever comes out of the Browns. So I guess like the more
I
talk
agree, but then the
into
second guy, you're not taking Burrow over Fields. Like that gap is
no, I am.
too-
But it would go AFC East quarterback Allen, AFC North, and Lamar and Burrow.
then the 3 of them.
And then, yeah, probably the 3 of these
guess.
guys. And then the
I mean, I
last
guess
2
from the-
spots go
yeah.
down. That's okay, so the AFC North has to be next.
Yes. Well, we still haven't done the NFC East, right?
No, AFC North is next. We already did the NFC East. That was 3.
you're right. Yeah.
So AFC North is, in fact...
Yeah, and Lamar and Burrow,
5th.
number 1 and 3 on his list, but it's because Kenny Pickett / Joe Flacco were number 47 and 40.
What about Shadow?
Right.
What about Shadow?
Right. So where's he going to rank Cam Ward? He's unranked. How's he going to do that?
How's he going to do? We still haven't seen the NFC North.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
NFC
Okay,
North's
so
not even the best. It probably is the best division.
So the next 3,
in football.
the last 3 divisions we have on here are NFC North and both the Souths. It's NFC North is next.
Yeah.
We might let's just cross that off here.
Yep.
Yeah.
NFC North is next.
Goff number 4 QB last year, according to this guy. Thought he wasn't top 10 on a bunch of lists.
Nick
man.
Shook, man. Nick Shook.
See, I'm giving him the this guy tag right now because of this list.
Because Mahomes was 7th, and there's just
Sure.
no way to defend that, honestly.
Right.
Okay, so the last 2 divisions
So he
are
ranks
both at the
McCarthy
South ones.
29th, by the way. Ahead of 2 guys that played last year.
Ahead of who? Pickett?
Flacco.
Oh,
and
Flacco
Pickett.
and Pickett?
Pickett didn't play last year, actually. I was wrong.
So, South. Which South? The NFC South has to just be
NFC
the
South
next
is worse.
one.
Baker's the only good quarterback, and then it's like Penix, meh.
Oh, you think AFC South is next?
Yeah, I think AFC South is better.
They have the
It
best
obviously is
quarterback.
better.
They have
the best They have the best 2 quarterbacks, maybe. Like Baker's good, but like Stroud and Lawrence are. There's an argument there for Lawrence over
I'm
Baker.
still such a sucker for the Trevor Lawrence has upside argument. I'll
yeah,
still
then
make the
what are we
case.
disagreeing about here then?
We're not disagreeing about anything. I'm just simply stating, for some reason, I still have Trevor Lawrence stock, even though it's been, 4 years of just mediocre football from him at this point.
Right.
I'd still rather have him than Baker, even though Baker Mayfield has outperformed Trevor Lawrence each of those seasons.
Uh-huh.
But according to this list, Baker's going to be a higher-ranked quarterback.
Yes, he is. Baker will be the top-ranked guy out of even Stroud and Lawrence, probably.
Real?
Well, just based off last year, Baker had a better year than Stroud, just specifically last season. Yes.
Yeah, but you can't actually rank him ahead of
This
Stroud.
guy literally is doing that.
I know.
Once again, that's why I'm giving him the this guy tag.
I don't like the rankings that are like
only
these
one,
are-
not like a overall ranking.
like who would you have? This is like based on week 1, who had the best numbers?
Yeah.
It's like, all right,
like Baker's going to be higher than Mahomes probably on this list.
all right, let's find out.
Yeah.
7 is the NFC South.
Oh, they put the NFC South over
They
it.
like Michael Penix.
No shot,
How is
man.
Bryce Young 16th?
What do you mean they
I'm
like
taking-
Michael Penix? He's 30. The headset has come off for Ben.
How is Bryce Young 16th on this list?
No, why is Tyler Shook number 29 over Michael Penix?
I don't understand what's happening on this list. And then the AFC South is
Baker number 6, by the way, higher than Mahomes, as I predicted.
And then CJ Stroud is the 15th ranked quarterback on this list, and the AFC South is dead
Lawrence
last.
26. Fraudulent list, man.
This might be
just bad
the worst around the league list that we've had.
It absolutely is.
This is worse than the all-century team leaving off Adrian Peterson at the running back position. I cannot get behind anything that this list had other than the correct number 1 ranking in the the AFC West. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, it just makes no sense based off of the clearly.
I don't know what the criteria is here in how he's ranking these guys.
I think he put okay. So Cam Ward, Tyler Shook, J.J. McCarthy, they're all ranked number 29. So he put all the guys who'd never played at 29.
Oh, they're all just tied for last.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm out on this list.
But then Penix is lower, and he actually played last year.
I thought that was going to be a lot more fun, and I just ended up getting angry at the
now I'm
list.
just mad. But, hey, we're at the Dow Championship, so you can't be that mad.
Can't be mad. May as well make your way here, too. Ahead, go to dowchampionship.com to get yourself some tickets. Kids 17 and under get in for free. If you're active duty or a veteran, you also get in for free throughout the course of the week. Tournament starts tomorrow. Pro-Am's going on right now. Again, we are live from the Midland Country Club for the Dow Championship here in the Great Lakes Bay region this week. We'll be right back. It's the Ben Bosscher Show live on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
When the summer heat is on, keep your cool with Answer Heating and Cooling. Our expert team specializes in fast, reliable air conditioning repairs, installations, and maintenance. Stay comfortable all season long.
Quality of the wine is exceeded only by the warmth of the greeting waiting for us. And with more than 90 wineries, covering more than 13,000 acres, the harvest has never been better. So let's wander through lush vineyards, discover hidden treasures in vast cellars, and renew ourselves in comfortable tasting rooms. Let's all raise a glass. Let's gather our closest friends and become even closer. Because taking time to toast the beauty and bounty of life is pure Michigan. Your trip begins at Michigan.org.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, welcome back into the Ben Bosscher Show live right here from the Dow Championship. Ben Bosscher here with you as always. Look at that. Station GM Brad Tunney making an appearance once again on the Ben Bosscher Show. What's going on?
How's it going, man?
It's going great. It's going great. Live here from the Dow Championship. How could it not be?
That's right. And it's, despite a little bit of rain earlier this morning, beautiful out. Got a couple of teams wrapping up on 18 right now for the Pro-Am. Everyone in their beautiful lavender-colored polos today in benefit of cancer services. And so, been a great day of golf so far, seemingly, and folks are enjoying it. Media center upstairs, populating well. Food and coffee downstairs, and we'll start to see some action a little bit in the Diamond Club area with a couple of local events, I think, populating those spaces in the next couple of hours, including an event hosted by all the local Chamber of Commerce's or business alliances locally for young professionals in the region. Always a great event from 11:30 to 1 today for My Pros here in Midland, but also for surrounding regional young professional networks in Saginaw and Bay City and Mount Pleasant. So excited for that too.
You and Sarah going to make your way down there?
We will be down there. That's
part
right.
Of the young professionals group here in
that's right.
Midland,
which you are also a member of, I believe.
I believe I am. Yeah. Hard to attend everything now with the show from 9 to noon every day.
That is true. That is true.
We need to get you and I on the golf course together, I think, here in the next couple of weeks, because I heard you're now doing the Loons Invitational. And you've been talking a lot of garbage after you saw Colin and I's golf scores that we posted on Twitter a couple of weeks back. And I don't know. I've never seen you golf either. So
I can tell you that I don't need to swing a club for 3 years, and I'm not shooting the 66 that you guys shot.
I don't know.
For a guy in you who ignorantly stated that you figured out your game yesterday at the range, that was really cute. And then
I figured out what was wrong with the chipping thing. I had a problem and I fixed it at the range.
Yeah, and it will be miscorrected again at some point in the next couple of weeks.
I don't think so.
There is a small chance you and I are partners for the Loons Cup, by the way, because we're on the same team. Yeah, and we have scores that are so different that we have a chance to be partners.
That's making it seem like you have one of the best scores.
No, I'm in the middle of the pack. It's also not a very talented office. So my
shots fired at everybody there.
Yeah, I mean my 26 handicap or 28 handicap is in the top half at this point for the Loons Cup. Yeah.
Hey, I brought home a cup last year. I was part of a winning team last year, so I'm hoping to run that back again this year with the expectation too for represent the team that I'm on here. So
I do have a voucher for a foursome that I won in an auction last year for the country club at some point. Not to say that I would take you, but
thanks.
I do have an opportunity to play the course. I'm hoping that I maybe hop on in the next couple of weeks while the course is still somewhat in tournament form. They always say obviously the best time to play this course is sometime around the tournament, because obviously the course is always an immaculate kind of condition, but it certainly is when the LPGA is in town, and I'm hoping to maybe hop on in the next couple of weeks here and play what is deemed a fairly short course for tour purposes, but in terms of aesthetic and layout and proximity to fans and patrons of the course is really great, and does not really have many comparisons on the rest of the tour. That comes in conjunction with the fact that it's a team event, and the purse size grows every year. Now I think $3.3 million split between these pairings of players. They get to pick their pairings. They obviously, as you stated, play alternate shot and best ball throughout the week, starting on Thursday, and Golf Channel coverage throughout the weekend from 3 to 6 on Saturday and Sunday. NBC Sports is here. Great infrastructure behind this 18th green that we're overlooking right now. It just really is a beautiful spectacle that for folks that are in the region that have maybe never attended, are hearing about it for the first time, or hear about it every single year simply because of the traffic that makes its way into town, or the additional infrastructure that's now going around Saginaw Street and around Midland High School and Dow Diamond, there's all these shuttles going around and little buses, and there might be folks downtown that are like, oh, those folks don't look like they're from Midland, and that's probably true. There's additional traffic down there in the Commons area. I was down there last night, and great, traffic in the Commons, even though the Champions Party was last night, and another great partner at the Community Center. And so there's just a lot going on, and for folks that are kind of experiencing for the first time, it's really not as hard to get here as it might seem. For an event like this in a town of this size, it might think, man, there's barriers of entry to just get to the course. It's going to be a nuisance to find my way to the country club. It really isn't. You just go park at Dow Diamond. You park at Midland High School. The shuttles run all day. They're convenient. They're air-conditioned. They're quick. The bus drivers are friendly. You don't have to wait outside for very long. Just park your car like you would for any other event. It's affordable to get in. Tickets are available at dowchampionship.com. There really isn't that much barrier of entry to get here. If you're a family or trying to come here for the first time, it is not intimidating. Just go park your car at one of those venues and then get shuttled over with tickets. And it's well worth it just to see the space. For families or for folks in the region that have ever just been to Dow Gardens or Whiting Forest or the Alden B. Dow home or other areas of the region, and every time you go, you're like, man, this was a great experience. Same thing here, and this might be the most beautiful of any of those venues. And so maybe if you've never even been on the grounds of the country club, this is the time to check it out.
I'm surprised you've never played here, first of all. Second of all, whenever you get on the shuttle from, I always do it from Midland, which is ironic because we work at Dow Diamond. I don't know why. I just don't take the shuttles from Dow Diamond. I feel like I'm getting on a bus and going to Disney World, like those little shuttles.
Yeah, that might be a stretch, but I hear what you're saying for sure.
That's what it feels like. You hop on and they take you to the magical place. You're at
It is a bit of a magical place. This country club is one of the finest in the country, truly. And when this was, dreamt up in this city and put directly in the middle of the city, right? Like we speak to so many different middles of this town. One could be the forest where My Michigan Health is. One is here. You could speak to, downtown or the Circle being the center of the city. But there are a lot of centers of this city, but this being smack dab really in the center of Midland with the mall, 2 to 3 minute drive, downtown 2 to 3 minute drive, the Circle right next to us. With this being right in the middle of it, most folks have never really experienced what being here looks like, and you can hear, there's some, what is the ambient mic on, 3 here?
4.
4, nice. There's some, ambient noise that is not coming across, so this is terrible, but
nice.
Of the waterfalls that sit right next to the pool deck here at the country club.
Yeah.
Again, it's like visiting Dow Gardens for me in that most people, if they've never visited before, you end up, like you mentioned, walking into this magical space, and you're like, oh man, this is in the center of the town I live in, and it only cost me, $15 to show up today to do it. Yeah, so worth a visit for sure.
The view from up here where we're set up right now, and also from the media balcony up here looking over hole 18, I think is the best view of the entire course. We can't see where they tee off from where we're set up doing the show, but we can see the tee or the green, excuse me.
The balcony that we'll be at for the next 2 days is really the spot to be. We're secluded right now on the upper level of the country club, overlooking what is the primary outdoor dining space for the restaurant downtown,
which is amazing, by the way.
Yes, and so we still get a good view of the green here, and the grandstands that will be heavily populated for the next 4 days with Diamond Club members, sponsors, corporate partners, volunteers. So much of this tournament is put on and executable because of volunteers in the region, which is a great volunteer opportunity because you get to be on course and you get to hang out. And
they got a whole volunteer section set up on the other side of the course.
Where, they feed them good. They give you good merch. Most of this tournament is possible because of corporate partners, of course, and Dow and the LPGA, but so much of what's executed on course, most people don't realize, is just volunteers from the region. And so, there are folks that even work at the ballpark that decide to volunteer here because they're sports-oriented, they're sports-minded, and they've got a couple of extra days, retirees in particular. Whether it is, someone directing traffic around the course, or it's just someone standing on the side of the fairway to make sure that no one's, running onto the fairway in the middle of play or something like that. Even that is great because you're sitting there, you get to watch play all day, hang out in the sun, volunteer opportunity. Some of these tournaments on tour, volunteers actually pay. So not only are you not paid labor, but you actually pay to become a volunteer on courses and on on tour events like this, and here you don't have to. You can just kind of show up and volunteer by signing up. So, yeah, I mean, all around just a great event for the region. So much economic development and growth takes place through this. You know, Dow and Outlier and the LPGA and the Dow Championship, they're great partners for local organizations like ours and the Loons and others that are supported through financial contributions and then partnerships like ours. And so we really appreciate the partnership with Outlier and the Dow Championship and Dow. You know, we had Jim Fitterling on Loons broadcast last week, and all the great work that he and his team do at Dow. You know, this being now the 6th year of this tournament, dating back to 2019, the growth that it's gone through, the economic investment that's made in our region and at the country club throughout the year, it's just really awesome.
I can't believe you never played here, honestly.
I know, yeah. Well, you know, they teased me with a Pro-Am invitation in year 1 or year 2, and now...
Really?
Yeah, I mean, you would think someone of my stature, which is really nothing, would have an opportunity to play here, but yeah, no.
Bill Simonson told me it should be my goal to be in the Pro-Am a year from now.
My goal is to get you to play in the Pro-Am, yes.
I'm going to have to get a lot better before that even is a possibility. A lot of range sessions between now and next year, and a lot of
ignorance in thinking that you've somehow fixed your game.
Hey, we're getting better. It's pretty hard to get worse from where we're at right now. So
you did shoot a 66 at what, Curry or
60,
Sandy Ridge?
Sandy Ridge, 64.
Yeah, 64. It's really bad. It's really bad.
It is really bad.
It's like you shouldn't have even said that publicly bad.
Yeah. Well, if I put it out now, it's going to be hard to be worse than that. And the ironic part is I went this past weekend and did in fact shoot worse than that.
Wow. Yeah. See, again,
because I couldn't figure out how to get the chipping to actually get some air underneath it. But now I figured it out.
It's like, was this in the Mitt news today? The Nuggets president Josh Kroenke stating that they might have to trade Nikola Jokic. He said that publicly.
He said that
yesterday. Yeah. He said, you're only one injury away from not having to discuss something you never want to talk about, and that's trading 15. So we'll see how things go.
Wait, how does that have to do with anything I just said?
It's just something that you shouldn't say publicly or privately, really. You shouldn't tell anyone that you shot a 66 anywhere.
Shouldn't even really have those thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's how the connection was made.
Perfect.
On NBA draft day.
Well, thanks for stopping by, Brad. Always appreciate it.
You guys are doing great work.
Are we?
I think so, yeah. And I would say that publicly, yeah.
Thanks, Ben. All right, we are live here from the Dow Championship. When we come back, a little bit more Tigers to get to here in the 11 o'clock hour. Still got a lot of good stuff coming up on 100.9 The Mid. Again, this is the Ben Bosscher Show live from the Dow Championship on 100.9 The Mid.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mid.
It's time to remember that. With Kyle Sandell.
Presented by Matt Larson, Farm
promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Welcome back into the Ben Bosscher Show. Why are you laughing, man? It's sunny out.
If you're not listening, if you are watching on YouTube, you would see Ben's wardrobe change that he just made.
I just throw on some shades, man. It's getting sunny out. I got to throw on the shades once in a while.
Right.
You like these?
They're not my style. I won't say I dislike them.
I bought them at a gas station for $12. So
hey, that's a good purchase. I just bought a pair of sunglasses that came, or they're just bent already. They're crooked. New sunglasses.
They came like that, or you bent them?
No, they came like that.
Did you order them online?
Yeah.
Did you send it back?
No. I already took them out of the package and threw them on and everything.
See, the reason I
have them right here.
Resort to old school, like cheap sunglasses that you can buy at like a Walgreens or a Meijer or a gas station for that matter is because I sit on my sunglasses a decent amount, or I'll just drop them. So if I end up buying an expensive pair, I feel like I would just end up breaking them, and I feel like I'd waste my money. So I resort to the cheap pair, and I get a couple new pairs every summer.
See, I got the cheap pair too, but
you've misplaced them. No,
I got them right here. See, they are. I'll put these on my face right now.
Let's put them on the stream, and everyone on the stream can say which sunglasses they like more.
Okay, man, this is
riveting radio. Riveting.
I mean, look how crooked mine are. I was like, they're bad. They're crooked bad.
Wait, look at me. It looks like it's just tilted one way. It's like off center on the nose, not even.
It's like this whole thing is all bent. I need to try and mess with it. I just haven't really had the time.
What brand are they?
I don't even know, dude. I got them for cheap. That's what's so like that.
Online?
I'm not like that.
You know what you should do? You should write a Yelp review.
Yelp review.
Yeah, you should write a Yelp review on whatever website, or just leave a bad review on.
I got them on Amazon, so
leave a bad review.
I'm sure that they are really
full.
Their business is really affected by my
Are they
opinion.
Amazon sunglasses?
No, I don't even know what brand they are. I'm not like I'm not like Brad, I don't like I don't just be having the Ray-Bans on deck,
You should go full Karen mode and write a lengthy review on these sunglasses.
Well, they were dirt cheap, so I'm not too upset about it.
Cheaper than these $12 sunglasses.
I think they were like $10, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, yours are bent and mine aren't.
Yes,
so.
you're right with that.
989-837-6125. Welcome back into the Ben Bosscher Show live on 100.9 The Mitt. We're live from the Dow Championship today, and we're getting excited for the tournament that starts tomorrow. But honestly, I'm just so excited still from last night. In full transparency, we had to be here pretty early today. I didn't make it through the entire course of the Tigers game, but when I went to bed, it was 7-3, and Wenzel Perez was in full effect. Riley Green was in full effect. We had seen Tarik Skubal not have his best start, but as we mentioned earlier on in the show, it's like the expectation for what Skubal does on a day-to-day basis when he goes out on the mound is almost unfair. We kind of expect him to have one of these Hall of Fame performances every time he goes out, and when he doesn't, it's a little bit of a disappointment. So he's in a tough situation to where it's like, hey, man, like if you don't have something for us that we've never seen before, we're probably going to call it a disappointment, which it kind of is because he set that expectation and that bar so high for himself. But the Tigers are still able to find a way to come out on top because the bats were hot yesterday, and it was just one of those games where I felt like everyone got to eat a little bit. Remember those Lions games where everybody scored? St. Brown, J-Mo, Laporta, Gibbs, Montgomery. Like you could parlay all five of them to score, and it'd be like 40-1. And I'm pretty sure that hit like 3 different times last season. Yesterday felt like one of those days for the Tigers. You had Riley Green in full effect, 4 hits. You had Wenzel Perez hitting in RBIs. You had Zach McKinstry, who's still making a case to be an all-star, a hot from the plate. Everybody was in full effect. But I think the MVP, I mean, you could just say it's Riley Green because he's playing the best ball of his career, and he's like kind of turning himself into a superstar right in front of our eyes. I'm careful with that word because I think to be a superstar in baseball, like, there's not a lot of guys that are true superstars. It's probably Ohtani, Judge, De La Cruz, I think, is kind of in that conversation now.
Right. De La Cruz kind of is from more of a popular standpoint rather than in numbers. I mean, his numbers are good for sure, but
like even I'm kind of more so talking about a popular.
Yeah. Then I would agree.
A Skeens in that conversation too. What's going on? It's Bill Simonson. We're live right now on 100.9 The Mitt.
There he is, the man himself.
How's it going?
It's going good.
Good. We got to get you on here next segment if that's okay.
What time?
You want to come back at 11?
Yeah, I'll come back. Where'd Brad go?
I don't know. He was just here a couple seconds ago. He's walking. Brad Tunney signing autographs?
Oh, of course.
I'll have to tell him you said that.
I saw Jim Federling, the CEO, and down. I saw Brad, and people were just.
Oh man, that's fantastic.
He's in the new F1 movie.
Brad in the F1 movie.
Right.
I go, there's Brad Pitt. I pointed to the
Brad Tunney, Brad Pitt. You got time to come on in the 11 o'clock hour?
I sure do. I'll come back.
Perfect.
Awesome.
All right.
We'll see you soon.
That might be the most famous guest we've had on here on the Ben Bosscher so far. I know. You got the cameras. Yeah, the lighting's fine actually. It looks all right. Thank you. I appreciate it. We're too young to have the lighting. I don't know how much of that the audience could hear and how much. I don't think they could hear too much of it.
Probably not.
But
Bill Simonson though, in the flesh.
Just huge presence. So what were we just talking about before?
About the Tigers, superstars in Major League Baseball.
I want to be real careful using that word because, like you said, it's Skeens, it's De La Cruz, it's Judge, it's Ohtani, even like an Acuna who's like off the charts right now since coming back from this injury. Like I don't know if he's really in that in terms of like household name. Everybody knows who he is, and Ellie De La Cruz probably isn't in that too. But like I always judge it based on just like, hey, does my mom know who that person is? She probably doesn't know who any of those people are, if I'm being completely honest, other than like Shohei. But so maybe that's a bad example. But
right.
There's very few superstars, I guess, is my overarching point in Major League Baseball. And Riley Green is legitimately like knocking on the door of that conversation. He's not a superstar yet. He's not even being like next in line to be anointed a superstar. But he's outside the club, in line, waiting to get let in.
You know what's
and if he keeps playing the way he's playing right now in the month of June, he's going to get into that conversation. Because let's not forget, Detroit is an Original Six team. Detroit is a big market. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. If they have a guy who's a perennial All-Star, he's about to be a two-time All-Star. If this can happen year in and year out, he is going to turn. Like, there's no doubt about it. He will be a superstar.
Right. Is there more international superstars than American superstars just in baseball? Because you think about it, like Judge seems really like the main one, obviously, American superstar. But then the Ellie De La Cruz, Fernando Tatis, Shohei Ohtani, Ronald Acuna, like these guys I would all classify as superstars.
Well, Major League Baseball's problem for a long time was they didn't want to promote some of these international stars.
And they've embraced it, yeah.
Now they've embraced it, and I think part of it for a long time was, well, they don't speak English, we don't think our fans can connect with them, so here's Mike Trout, here's Bryce Harper. Not that those guys rocked, but it feels like the world has kind of moved on from those guys in terms of who are the faces of baseball, and they've leaned into the international stars and tried to make it a worldwide sport rather than just an American sport.
Because it is.
I don't know what took them so long to figure out that was the key to success in this league.
Their sport is the most, just from the major four in the United States, like their sport obviously is the most impacted by international players.
Yeah.
Like not even close.
Everyone talks about basketball becoming a worldwide sport. Baseball's been a worldwide sport.
It's forever,
Forever. It's just a matter of Major League Baseball promoting the right people, and it feels like they're finally doing that. But, I mean, to the point that you made, Riley Green, in terms of like the American stars, no one's passing Judge anytime soon. No one's passing Ohtani in terms of Skeens anytime soon. But like, yeah, Riley Green's right in that conversation. Like, I know in basketball we talk about it all the time. Who's the best 5 Americans? Who's the best 5 European or international players? If we were putting together an All-American team, like, who says Riley Green can't be playing in the World Baseball Classic a year from now?
That's a really good point, honestly. Yeah, I mean, and the World Baseball Classic is like
awesome.
It is the best. It is right there with Olympic basketball, maybe even better.
Olympic basketball
based on the Olympic basketball last year. Yes, of course.
Yeah,
maybe the 8 years before that.
Watching the World Baseball Classic 2 years ago now.
Yes,
was it 2024?
It was in 2023, I believe. It might have been 2022.
I think.
It might have been 2020. It was 2022. Yes.
So it is. It's every 4 years. It's again.
Yes, but it was affected by COVID. They had to do it in a third year. Yeah. It's kind of confusing.
That coming back, I think, is only going to grow. Like, I remember Ohtani and Trout going toe to toe to close the game. Like that kind of stuff's awesome.
That was the best.
And Ohtani, similar to the way Cade Cunningham is kind of inserting himself to where he has to be on the Olympic team. Riley Green is positioning himself right now where he has to be on this World Baseball Classic team when this event kicks off. What is it? It's before the season starts next year, right?
Yes.
That's when I remember it happening last year.
It's in the winter time. Yeah, early spring, winter time-esque.
Skubal on the mound, Riley Green out in the outfield. Could be a lot of fun. 989-837-6125, 11 o'clock hour on the way. Again, we are live here from the Midland Country Club right here in Midland, Michigan, as the Dow Championship is in town. Tournament kicks off tomorrow. Festivities have begun all week. Ben Bosscher Show, live from the golf course.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Since 2007, the Michigan Baseball Foundation has invested
We're also going to focus on developing mental toughness and grit, because those are the characteristics that allow us to achieve greatness both on and off the court. So, how do we develop those things? By getting comfortable with a challenge, by cultivating the confidence necessary to overcome adversity in all forms. That's why I coach. That's my purpose. Every member of this team can lean on me, and I'll teach them how they can lean on themselves and each other.
This message presented by the MHSAA and the Michigan Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
From the Blazy Electric Studios, this is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt, WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
Ben Bosscher here on the Ben Bosscher Show, live from the Dow Championship here at the Midland Country Club. And look at that, we got the one and only Bill Simonson from the Huge Show joining us right here.
Wow, you know, I
big time guests, man.
Yeah, I do my show here. I've done it Tuesday, Wednesday. You filled in Monday, and I'll be here Thursday on 100.9 FM and across the Michigan Sports Network. But you guys have a great setup. I mean, Brad Tunney is just draining the 100.9 FM, the Mitt bank account. You guys got lighting. You're too young, like I said earlier. You're too young, you and Kyle, to have lighting. I need lighting. I need a borderline solar flare on my face during my show. But great setup. I love it.
We got to get you guys a camera set up so everyone can see your face.
You know what? I'm in the generation and the era that I still do radio. So I believe sometimes people will play. You don't do it, but some people play too much to the camera when they're doing a radio show on video. And then people go, well, I want to see what you're doing. Okay, look, I'm wearing a golf shirt. I got a Lions hat on. Whoop-de-doo.
How many years have you been coming here for the Dow Championship, doing your show live from here for what, basically the whole week? You come up to Midland. How many years in a row have you been doing this?
So what was it, 2019 this tournament started? Yeah, so I've been here every year, and really it was the relationship with 100.9 FM, and then Bill Stavropoulos was heavily involved, the former CEO of Michigan Baseball Foundation. You guys know Bill well, and they've been through a couple different tournament directors. Wendy's has been fantastic. So it's grown from one show to now doing 4 shows and hosting Rock the Block, which was awesome Monday. We fried eggs downtown Midland on the street. It was so hot here. I swear, Monday was, take me to Death Valley, California, take me to Qatar, take me to the middle of an oil refinery in Saudi Arabia, and chances are it was cooler. It felt like 120 degrees here.
Hey.
On Monday. Now it's beautiful. It's almost cold.
And you had to play in the Pro-Am.
Yeah, I had
Monday.
to play. The things I have to do for the huge show. The sacrifices I have to make.
Did you play again today, right?
No,
Pro-Am?
I didn't do.
Monday.
I didn't double dip. Obviously, if you listen to the huge show, my golf schedule is more than Tiger Woods in his prime, Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer, and it's all connected to great events, charities. The Michigan PGA Women's Open wraps up today at Crystal Mountain. I was up there, here 2 weeks ago at the Meyer LPGA.
But you're on tour.
Yeah, only one is Rocket, but they're, to be honest with you, Rocket Mortgage people, when the pandemic hit and they didn't have any crowd, they said, we reached out and said, we won't charge you guys. And they said, great, we're going to be an advertiser with you forever. And after that, they didn't spend any money. So this is the first time I've ever mentioned Rocket Mortgage on a microphone, the tournament.
How'd you end up shooting on Monday when you played in the blazing heat?
9 under. My only thing was over here on number 4, Corey Pavin was watching Dow Ambassador, and I jacked one. I almost can see the TV tower.
I was going to say, I think I saw a photo of this.
And hit the TV tower and then ended up in front of the Porta-John.
Did you end up playing that one?
No. I think it was Selena Bjorg, or a Norwegian who played for Norway's Olympic golf team. She was pin high, and Pavin played the hole with us, and then Suzanne Pedersen. And both Corey and Suzanne Pedersen are Dow ambassadors, so they're here the whole week, I think, or at least till Friday. And this is just a great event. The 100.9 FM, the Mitt, the Loons, this event, the tennis event coming up in February. I guess there's a big pickleball tournament in August. I am the biggest ambassador now for how cool Midland is.
Oh,
I love it. I really do. This place is a lot to offer. It's classy. You want to get away, you can do it. Midland Country Club, what they do here. Midland is a hidden gem in the state of Michigan.
That's always the way I've thought about it, too, because when I was going to school over at CMU, I didn't even really know where Midland was until I started working over for the Loons that summer in 2023. And once I came over here, I was like, I didn't know any of this existed. And then I ended up getting the job and moving over here, and I've been here for about a year now. And it's such a tight niche community together. Like, there's a lot more people here than you realize, and especially when you consider like Saginaw, Bay City, just the whole tri-state area.
Well, 100.9 FM, you guys, I hear it. I'm staying over at Soaring Eagle. I hear it from the parking lot to when I drive in. I think, Ben, your growth, Brad Tunney's growth, knowing and seeing a lot of you guys from when I started on 100.9 FM is a testament to the CMU broadcasting department.
Yeah.
This has become a feeder program. 100.9 FM has become really a feeder program for broadcasters from CMU and other schools to really move to bigger and better things. I have you fill in. What are you, 23 now?
Yeah.
Yeah, gosh. Kyle is 15, still a sophomore at Midland High. So
he's my age.
Yeah, I'm joking. Kyle's too ripe to be picked on. I can't look at Kyle now. I need blinders on.
Kyle's got the mustache. I can't grow the mustache.
The new mustache look. Paul Skeen started. If it can get you dates with Olivia Dunn, okay. If it can get you dates with Olivia Dunn, I'll wear the mustache. My problem with the mustache, my Taco Bell quesadilla is going to be stuck in there for half the day. It works with I have to make sure I wash my goatee because half my food from the buffet downstairs will be in there during the show. Like I'm talking to Jim Fitterling, the Dow CEO, and he's like, Bill, this is an important event for the community, and I think you have a piece of your chimichanga in your goatee.
You get the breakfast down there this morning?
Yeah, I rolled in later today, just chilled out, slept in a little bit, took care of some business on the phone and emails, and I'll eat lunch, and then I'll hang out, and we'll do the show later today at 3 here as our base with 100.9 FM, the Mitt. It's just, This is such a cool event. And I heard you guys, I think it was Brad Tunney said, it's so easy, whether it's at Dow Diamond or is it Midland High or both schools are at?
Midland High is where the shuttles are coming through.
The shuttles are. It's really easy to get in. And I do agree with you that it is like a Disney shuttle. You get in, and there's a video from down. They go, "Hi, welcome to the Dow Championship. You'll be arriving upon entry. Walk left." And
it's our mascot that did it again this year. That's what it was last year. The mascot champ started talking to us.
I have some issues with the golf ball on steroids. But I'm not going to go there. I mean. I think he threw some attitude at me, which reminded me of my last time at Disney World down in Florida, where my kids were 3, 4, and 5. We had waited on Christmas Day.
You went down there on Christmas?
Christmas Eve, excuse me. Yeah, Christmas break. Last time ever. I waited in line for the Mickey Mouse Christmas photo with Santa for 2 hours. I'm second to next in line, and they put up the velvet rope, and the lady, their team member, whatever they call them, the lady goes, "Hey, everybody, Merry Christmas. Santa and Mickey have to go get some sleep because tomorrow is Christmas Day, and Santa needs to get on his sleigh." And I'm thinking, Santa's in Orlando right now at 75. How is he getting back to the North Pole? But my bigger problem was I looked at the lady and I said, "Hey, I've been here with the 3, 4, and 5-year-old for 2 hours, and I want the picture with at least Mickey." And she goes, "I'm sorry, sir, but we must leave." So they're walking away, and I'm losing it as a dad now. And again, I got divorced when my kids were 1, 2, and 3, and so I was doing the every other week dad thing. So I just snap. I go, "Mickey," I go, "you need to take a photo with my kids." And they're walking. They're about 50 yards away, and all of a sudden Mickey turns slowly and his head over his right shoulder, and I'm like, in my mind, I'm going, is Mickey bowing up on me right now? Does Mickey want to go?
You might be the only person that's leaving Disney World with a story like this.
No, I was ready to go across the velvet rope, and I'm thinking, and this is right before the explosion of the phones and my kids are now 17, 18, 19, right? And I almost went over the velvet rope, and I'm thinking, me tackling Mickey, getting arrested on Christmas Eve at Disney World. I've never been back. Actually, the kids said they'd rather go to Universal, but I think I brainwashed them into going to Universal for the annual trip. But yeah, that's my last time at Disney World. Anytime around
a good story.
Anytime around Christmas break, I'm telling you guys, because Kyle's looks like a guy that's gonna have 8, 9 kids. Is that
what does that mean?
It's a sense. It's a sense. Is that when you take your 8 or 9 kids down, do not go on Christmas break to Disney World. You won't hate your children, but you will despise every Mickey character, every Disney character for the rest of your life. If I see Goofy right now, I break out in sweats.
I don't know how I'm supposed to follow that up. How about this? I'll go here. Did you catch the Tigers game last night? Because
yes,
Colin and I have
did.
been talking about it basically all game.
Right, first off, I'm going to say this. The rain delay affects pitchers more than anything in a rain delay at any level of baseball. I don't care if it's your kids playing Little League or you guys playing Little League.
And the Tigers can't escape the rain right now.
No, they can't.
Everywhere they go.
No one can. Even that FIFA Club World Cup, it seems every match they have is being delayed by rain someplace in the country. And I just think there was something as I'm watching the rain delay. And Jason Benetti and Dirks and Danielle are filling time with the food thing again. I don't want to see. I know what they serve. I enjoy a $23 brownie with ice cream more than anybody else when I'm at Comerica. But I'm watching Skubal, and he's warm. And I said this. I was sitting at Ruth Chris at the bar eating a steak at Soaring Eagle, and I was talking to someone next to me about the game, and I said, Skubal isn't going to pitch well. And he goes, "What do you mean?" I go, "I'm telling you, body language." And what does he do? Give up 2 homers in the first
2 innings.
Yeah, right. Was it 2? Yeah, the first 2 innings.
Yeah, he gave up the one in the first inning, the 2-run shot after he walked someone after a 3-0 count, and then he ended up walking him in 5 pitches. And then he gave up a home run to Denzel Clark, who's not a home run hitter.
And also, I want to thank Oakland A's coaches for running
Oakland. You mean the homeless A's? That's what we call them.
The homeless. That's good. That's a good one. The homeless A's. I think they just started their ballpark, building it, right?
Yeah.
Is that for sending back? You get a runner, throw out in second, and you send the other guy again. It was a crazy game. Tigers. If you would have told me, what Skubal, they said he gave up 2 first-inning runs and had given up 2 all year. Was that it? Was that
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds right.
I saw that stat up there. I didn't mean to do the name drop on the Chris's classic steak and lobster. And I'm not getting it for free for dropping. I'm just saying it was a good meal at Soaring Eagle.
Sounds like a good meal. Well, Bill, appreciate you stopping by here.
You and Kyle sound great, Ben, and I'm really proud of you for your growth and for Brad pushing for more local content, because it sounds really good driving in. You're talking about this event. You're talking about the Tigers. You guys were talking some NFL. I think more local on 100.9 FM is better for everybody in the Bay region. And you and Kyle, I think Kyle is a superstar in the making. I think Tunney was talking to his agent out in the hallway, and they're going to get a deal done. Big dough, Kyle.
There we go. Kyle, you heard it first.
And good luck with your Kyle. You go to Central. You're going to end up getting married. You're going to have 8 or 9 children, and then hopefully you can afford to feed them on the pay scale of radio. So I wish you luck.
We'll have to talk to Brad about that.
Hey, Ben, you keep it up, man. You're killing it. And thank you when you fill in. I get good feedback about you. You're wonderful, okay?
That's always good to hear. Bill Simonson, everybody.
Yeah, free food starts at 11. I got to roll.
Appreciate you stopping by. Again, Ben Bosscher here on the Ben Bosscher Show, live from the Midland Country Club here at the Dow Championship. We'll be right back here on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Last night, participating, you consent to receive promotional information text from Tommy's Express. Message and data rates may apply. Message frequency varies.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Welcome back into the Ben Bosscher Show, live right here from the Dow Championship, up on the balcony looking over hole 18. Are there people putting right now?
Yes, there is.
I mean, they can't hear us. We don't have to be quiet, but I want to see if they sink this putt.
A whole group of people. I can see it.
You have a way better angle than I do. Is anyone like actually about to putt?
Oh, yeah.
Can the people
just
see
missed.
it?
Putt just missed.
Can the people see it if you zoom in on there or no? It might be a little bit too far.
Yeah,
to
a little
zoom
bit too far. A little bit too far.
That's okay. That's okay. Hey, that last segment, man, that might be one of that might have to
best segment of the Ben Bosscher Show.
And I barely had to say anything.
I mean, as soon as he started ripping Disney, I was like, okay, this could go for a minute. Here's my question, and this is to you, and this is to everyone.
Okay.
I love the compliments from Bill. About superstar in the making. Because that's very clear. But what about me screams 8 or 9 kids?
I don't know, but it was so funny.
Is there some trait that I put off? Is there some aura about me that's like, yeah? Because me personally,
he also thought you were like in high school, which I think you look older
right,
than
it's hilarious. Yeah, I mean we're the same age.
You look older than I do.
Well, it's funny
when's your birthday?
September, so I am older than you.
You are old.
Yeah,
and you look older than me.
But it's funny because not only did he made the joke about it, he's at Midland High or whatever, made the joke, and he's like, obviously I'm joking, but then he's like, go to CMU. It's like, yeah, man, I already have.
And then he doubled down on the multiple kids thing. I don't really understand what that's about to this day.
Because and we can dive into this. This is a really off-topic thing, but I really don't like kids. Like, I don't envision myself having kids.
Like
it can change. I'm not like out on it completely.
Dead set on no.
No, I'm not dead set. I'm not dead set on it, but like, I'm not a huge kids guy. I really dislike them.
Here's the thing about kids, especially in like the industry we're going into. Like, there's games on every day.
I love when you go to the game, not like the work part of it. You go to just watching games as the first thing.
That's work for me.
But I'm talking about
that's work for me. I gotta watch games.
Right.
I gotta take notes. I gotta get the yellow legal pad out and take some notes. But
that's when you have your kid
by the time every night, and it's like
by the time your kid gets like 5 or 6, it's like, all right, Junior, watch Pistons Spurs for me while I watch the Tigers.
Or shut up.
Take notes.
Take notes. Stop crying. Cade's playing. Cade Cunningham's on TV. We're definitely like just driving. We're driving someone insane right now because
it might be
because
I
we're
might
right.
be going insane.
No. I think there's one person out there. There's at least one person out there listening that's like, they're right. Shouldn't have had kids. Tigers are
right. I don't have enough time to watch the Tigers.
It's not worth it.
I literally missed the game last night.
You can't miss Skubal days.
My kid had a T-ball match.
Nope. T-ball's over. We're in the middle of the summer. I think it is.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know.
Starting to fill up over here in the grandstands. Some people showing up.
Yeah, I think there's, like Brad said, there's a little My Pros event going on right now.
Yes.
I'd like to go down there, but I'd also like to continue the show a little bit more likely. Okay, so what we were talking about before the one and only Bill Simonson joined us, which, by the way, if you want to listen to that, I'd highly recommend it. That's probably one of the better segments we've ever done here.
As soon as he name-dropped Livy Dunn, I knew something special was going down.
Hey, he said that the mustache might be able to get you someone like Livy Dunn, so that was good.
Right.
It's funny because, like, this is kind of a peek behind the curtain. We've danced around, like, doing something like that where it's like, oh, it's a funny bit because, like, we talked about Paul Skeen so much via the trade, and then he came to town, and it was like, and then he even paused, shouted her out, and we've, like, tiptoed around. He was just like, no, screw it. He's just like, he leaped over the line and was like, let's talk about. Anyway, if you guys want to talk or listen to that segment back as soon as the show's done, maybe a little bit of a delay today just because we're on site, but just search the Ben Bosscher Show wherever you get your podcast, or you can go watch it on YouTube.
Yep, that'll be up right away.
Got Bill on camera.
Bill on camera, and he's not an on-camera guy. Yeah, he talked about that.
Which I understand that part of it. I think sometimes I cater to the camera a little bit, and I try to break that habit, but it's naturally going to happen a little bit. So anyway, we were talking about Riley Green, whether or not we think that he's a superstar or not. And I think you got to be careful with the word superstar here, especially in Major League Baseball. Look, there's very few Major League Baseball stars. Judge and Ohtani obviously atop that list. I think De La Cruz a part of that list because he's got that flash, right?
Right.
I think Paul Skeen's a part of that list, and beyond that, Freddie Freeman, guys like playing for big markets.
Right.
That has a lot to do with it. The Tigers are a big market, and I think if Riley Green continues to play the way he's doing right now, he is going to be knocking on the door of like, hey, this is an American. This is who has Puerto Rican ties too, that we found out during the break. It is someone that we can kind of point to and be like, this is one of the best players in the league. He's having the best month of his career, and he's firmly. It's not even like, hey, he might be another all. He's going to be a starter in the All-Star game. That is becoming clear as this month continues. He could have a bad month of July, and I don't think it's going to matter.
No, I don't think it is either. I mean, I pulled up his numbers earlier in June. He's got an OPS of nearly 1,100 this month, 4 homers, 21 RBIs in June. It's now June 25th at this point. Like,
didn't last month he break his record for most RBIs in a month?
He's crushing with, and he probably, I don't want to jinx this part of it because there still is a lot of season left, but he likely is the first 100 RBI Tiger since Nick Castellanos in 2017.
What a name.
Which is 8 seasons ago, not having a guy with 100 ribbies. Like, it goes to show, and there's going to have a couple other guys that are close. Torkelson's going to probably break his personal RBI record this season. There's going to be a lot of guys that get near that 80-plus range. So,
well, the huge reason that Green and Torkelson are breaking their RBI records because the rest of the lineup is so much better than it has ever been.
Of course.
Since those guys have been
Everyone has stepped up.
Wenzel Perez has stepped up. Cole Keith even is playing a lot better. He got a couple hits last
Torres
night.
has come in and been a phenomenal bat.
Single machine. We talk about superstars, right? We talk about who's knocking on the cusp of doing that. You know who I think isn't with the Tigers right now? But, I mean, this is going to be a bad tease because you're going to figure out who it is immediately. But in their farm system, who's, like, I'm almost banking on becoming a superstar, is Max Clark. He's got the swagger. He's got the aura. He's got the tattoos.
The guy you want to trade.
I don't want to trade him. I'm just saying, I don't want to trade him. I'm saying if.
No, I know.
We don't need to go down the rabbit hole.
I know.
So he's got the tattoos. He's got the slick back, bleach blonde hair. He's got the sunglasses.
Chains.
He's got the huge chains. He's a different brand of baseball coming through. He's a different generation of a baseball prospect coming through. I think baseball needs a couple more guys like this that are coming up through the prospects, the pipeline. And once they finally get to the major league level, I think the debut of a guy like Max Clark and him hitting the ground running at this level is someone that Major League Baseball can kind of grasp onto because of the big-time personality that he has. That's someone I totally could see being a superstar, too.
He has the superstar archetype, right? Obviously, his play is the most important part to becoming a superstar, but he has everything off the field that a superstar has. Like, he has that aura about him. He has all the accessories like you talked about. He has a big social media presence, which I think plays a pretty big factor in being a superstar, right? If you can relate with the fans. The guy is tweeting about the Tigers 24/7.
Yeah.
And, like, tweeting on other Tigers fan accounts, like, talking about the Tigers.
As a fan.
He tweets like he's a fan. He's probably in the Detroit Tigers Twitter space. Like, it would not shock me if he was. So I think that plays a big part into it. But yeah, at the end of the day, it comes down to his play. But like you said, and this is the part I do agree with you with on the whole drafted out of high school thing, I think that plays into it. I really do think that this being this young and being developed, him coming into the majors as likely a super young player eventually, that kind of adds to the superstar aspect of it too, right? When it's a 19, 20-year-old kid, like that's always a pretty big deal.
Have I convinced you that Riley Green's the face of the team, especially after that awful?
You might have.
Tarik Skubal's awful washed at this point.
Can I ask you this about terrible starts?
Sure.
What if Jack Flaherty has a third blow-up start tonight? And I don't want to speak it into existence, and I don't want to sit here and complain about the Tigers, pitching staff being poor, but I'm just wondering, because 3 straight blow-up starts, and these have been probably bigger than blow-ups. These have just been abysmal starts.
Yeah, I'll throw a couple numbers out at you. Last 2 starts, 7 innings pitched, 15 earned runs. Bad.
It's really bad.
So go ahead.
But he also had a stretch of about 6-7 games in a row where he was back to 2024 Jack Flaherty. Mm-hmm. A lot of swing and miss, a lot of not walking guys. So I just wonder, because at some point you're hurting the team every time you go out there. And three starts is a small sample, but when it's that bad, A.J. Hinch has a pretty short leash, dude. Well, he's always had a really short leash with guys underperforming on the mound.
I've thrown the idea out of him coming out of the pen. The problem is they are not healthy enough in the starting rotation for that to happen, especially without Reese Olson still in the mix.
And they don't even have a guy to open for him that you would feel confident in.
No, so like you say, what happens if he has another blow-up start? You hit here's the panic button. You open up the seal, and you have your hand on it, ready to press it if another one happens.
But you still see him in 5 days.
There's no other choice.
Right.
You don't have any healthy arms that you can kind of substitute in, unless Alex Cobb miraculously becomes healthy, which I don't think is going to happen here. Unless Reese Olson he's pitching today, so minimum 5 days away. I don't think there's a solution right now unless they want to go after a guy on the market via the trade block. And again, if the Tigers think that they can address some issues right now, I don't think they should be waiting until July 31st to make a trade.
Agreed.
There are some problems on as much as we love the fact that they're the first team to 50 wins, first team to 40 wins, first team to 30 wins.
Them being the first team to 50 wins allows them to take their time and not just panic and make a trade right now, right?
That's also a good point.
You know?
Yeah,
like they can afford to wait things out.
Because if you're a seller at the deadline, there's not really an incentive for you to sell right now.
No
one's deemed themselves a sell. There's few teams in baseball that right now are like, we're sellers.
Exactly.
Like everyone's going to let the next month play out. Like Scott Harris, I think if there's anything that Scott Harris has taught us, is that you have to like actually let yourself get to the trade deadline and find out where you are that day or that week rather than where you are right now. No, luckily, the Tigers have built up a big enough cushion, but like look at the AL East. That division's so tight to where what it looks like right now in the standings could be completely different from what it looks like
West,
then.
the same way. Like a Diamondbacks team that is really not that bad. They just find themselves in the best division in baseball in 4th place.
Right. So the odds of them actually finding a trade candidate right now, maybe unlikely, but maybe you could call some of the teams that have no chance at making the playoffs this year and try to make a deal sooner rather than later and also overpay for it because, well, you have the luxury of being able to do that with your farm system that deep. I don't have a problem with them overpaying for guys at the deadline this year. I will not be mad about it. I won't.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you on that aspect. I know we've had our own opinions about trading certain guys in the farm system, but just from that perspective, like yes, I would agree.
Pay 120% for a tax.
Don't get outbid by a guy that really is a big need for you.
Yeah, and in the process, let another team get better. By adding that exact same player.
Exactly.
989-837-6125. Let's hit the news when we come back. Ben Bosscher Show live from the Dow Championship here at the Midland Country Club. Live until noon right here on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben
Warmth of the greeting waiting for us. And with more than 90 wineries, covering more than 13,000 acres, the harvest has never been better. So let's wander through lush vineyards, discover hidden treasures in vast cellars, and renew ourselves in comfortable tasting rooms. Let's all raise a glass. Let's gather our closest friends and become even closer. Because taking time to toast the beauty and bounty of life is pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Welcome in, Ben Bosscher Show, live from the Dow Championship. Looking over hole 18 right now. I don't know if the Pro Am's still going on. I haven't seen anyone come through hole 18 in a minute, and I don't see anyone on the other holes that we can kind of oversee here. So the Pro Am might be done today, Kyle. And then the Dow Championship, the real tournament begins tomorrow.
I can't wait.
Favorite storyline heading in?
Ooh, favorite storyline.
I'm kind of putting you on the spot here.
No, I would say it's the fact that Lexi Thompson is back after, you've kind of brought it up, after it seemed like maybe last year was the last time she'd be at the Dow Championship. The fact that she's here, I would say that's the biggest storyline, right? Or is it the potential back-to-back champs?
I would say it's either Lexi Thompson back, or it's the fact that no one's ever won this event twice, and the team that won it last year in Yin and Thetical are back after finishing minus 26 last year, which is the second best score that's ever been recorded here. Minus 22. I'm sorry. The best score was the very first year. The winners shot minus 27. So that still hasn't been tapped. But yeah, right. No one's ever won it twice. And we've got 3 different teams that are back that have won a title before. And obviously Yin and Thetical being the first of those, the favorites here today.
Hopefully we get this type of weather tomorrow.
I know.
Because this is nice. Pretty ideal right now. It's still not crazy hot, but the sun is poking out. It's a little bit humid, but no rain right now. So hopefully it stays this way the next couple days.
All right. With that being said, we got to do our lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Fellas, I'm going to hold them. I'm in shambles right now. I'm looking right at the camera. For anyone listening on YouTube, this isn't me. I'm well aware of how big of an issue this is. It hurts me more than it hurts you, I swear, because I'm losing units too. I promise you, this will never happen again. When this losing streak is over for our lock of the day, we will never have a losing streak like this again. I can't promise it ends today.
It's 5 straight days of a not lock.
It's so embarrassing.
It's almost like we have to change.
How is Sarah supposed to sell this segment if I can't ever hit these locks?
Do we have to change it to fade of the day? Just don't take this pick. Okay.
I don't know if I'm supposed to do that on a golf course.
I don't think so.
Not on a golf course.
But as far as the units and the stats go, you are 3.32 units under all time right now. Obviously, you are 2 units down on the week after missing both picks. 6-11 all-time record as well. What's the play today to try to get back into the win column? Yesterday, you tried to go all out.
Did the Fever win last night? Because that was what I was debating between whether I was going to do a Torkel. We did Skubal going 6 up, 6 down. And the other one I was going to do is Fever money line, and probably should have just went with that.
Well, yesterday you tried to go crazy and hit a plus 230 bet to even things up. So what's the play today to try to...
The people see it.
Right. Well, the people on the radio don't hear it.
Tarik Skubal, 2 total bases today, plus 135. There's a lefty on the mound for Oakland. Torkelson's kind of the one guy that didn't rake yesterday because he was had an off day. Cole Keith was at first base. And the lefty does have standard splits. The righties hit Oakland's not Oakland. The homeless A's.
Oakland.
They hit the homeless A's. The righties hit this guy very well. So I'm going Torkelson continues the hot streak. Tigers stay hot. The bats stay hot, and they take it to Oakland here. We just need a double. We need 2 singles. We need a torque bomb. We're kind of due for one of those. It's been
That's a good point.
So Torkelson 2 bases get us back in the win column and end this streak. Put me out of my misery. This has to end. I have a feeling once it ends, we're going to get hot again.
Oh, yeah, that's how this stuff works, Yeah. Here's a fun fact for you. Torque 2+ bases was a bet you made on June 10th. This was the 7th episode of the show. You hit this after your 4-day losing streak. So the previous longest day losing streak, you got out of it with Torque 2+ bases.
Okay, I don't like that you brought up that
Going
there's been
back to
multiple for loss losing streaks.
No, because this one's 5. So trying to get out of the streak.
Kyle.
Trying to get out of the streak.
Thanks, Kyle. All right, that is our lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
And the other tradition we have is predicting Colin Cowherd's Open. 6 straight for us.
Man, this is crazy.
6. We thought we would be struggling to get one of week.
Well, no, this is 7 straight now, right? All 5 last week, and today's Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
This is 7 straight days.
What did he lead with on Monday?
Monday was the Halliburton
Finals
stuff. You've hit both days this week. You hit Halliburton Monday, and you hit Cooper Flagg yesterday. We kind of messed up, though, because we thought Cowherd wasn't doing his show, but he was just meant he had the NFL guy with him doing his show in the morning.
Okay.
So, or in the opening stuff.
Hey, man, it's your turn to go first.
It is my turn to go first. The NBA draft is tonight. But
he
man,
led with it yesterday.
And his favorite topic just got some news yesterday. Aaron Rodgers' lead is back.
Oh. What would that be like?
Aaron Rodgers went on McAfee and said, I'm probably done after this year. I'm not even being ultra specific here. Aaron Rodgers is his lead.
That's good. That's good. Anytime he has a chance to lead with Aaron Rodgers, he's probably going to. The fact that I woke up and just asked now, did the Fever win, tells me Clark probably didn't have a good game, though. If I'm just
they won.
I know, but if I'm just now seeing it, like she must have not went nuts. Because if she would have went nuts, we would know about it. You got the box. What you have?
Ooh, 6 points, 9 assists.
Yeah, he's not going there.
Aaliyah Boston, 31 piece though.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's not going to be Clark. Rodgers is a good one. Since I can't go Rodgers though, I'll just double down on what I did yesterday and got a point on Cooper Flagg in the NBA draft.
Does it have to be the Cooper Flagg, or does it have to be like you got to?
It won't be if it's NBA draft. It's Cooper Flagg.
You're right.
It's the only person that's
a
household
Porzingis
name.
stuff. I could see him doing something
Not in
Boston,
the open.
something Boston related, right?
Cooper Flagg's the household name.
You're
I don't
right.
think it'll be a Boston. If he mentions Boston, it'll be like they got under the cap, but it won't be like his lead.
Right, that's fair.
He loves Cooper Flagg. Thinks he's like a generational guy. I'm mostly aligned with him there. You probably have the better. You're like -1.
Yeah,
you're
but
like plus 110. I'm like plus 170.
Right, but like the Rodgers stuff isn't news. That's but he doesn't. It doesn't have to be. Rodgers is just.
He'll find a way to make it.
He finds a way to make it. Yeah, he finds a way to make a topic out of it, and then he'll pivot to something random. Immediately. For people that are not watching on YouTube and can't see the scoreboard, 6-4. Ben leads all time in the Guessing Collins Open.
I may be down in the lock of the day.
You're right,
but I'm having some radio success here.
You're right, and I can't really talk the lock of the day because I don't throw out a lock of the day every day. I don't make myself vulnerable like that.
No, I need you to hold me accountable. When I have bad picks, I need you to tell me.
The spreadsheet holds you accountable.
You know what you should start keeping track of? You should start saying I'm tailing or fading, and then see if you can actually just straight up have a better record.
Yeah, that's genius. I'll tail today. I agree with the Torque 2+ bases.
Torque 2+ bases.
Yeah. We'll start adding that to the spreadsheet.
All right. Again, we're live from the Dow Championship. That's basically going to do it for us today. Again, we're live every day from 9 to noon, right up here on the media floor balcony, looking over hole 18. Today was just a Pro-Am, not just a Pro-Am. I mean, the events have been going on all week, and this has driven a lot of traffic here to the Great Lakes Bay region. It's been an awesome aspect, an awesome week every single year here in the Great Lakes Bay region. Always lucky to be a part of it. But the actual tournament, the sports aspect of it, my favorite part of it, begins tomorrow. We'll have updates throughout the show on who's winning. We'll be able to look at hole 18 and tell you what's going on. A really fun hole to end a day's worth of playing if you started on hole 1. So, again, we'll be back tomorrow.
And it's easy to come here, too, like Brad and Bill were both talking about. Like, cheap
Disney
tickets,
experience.
Disney experience. A beautiful course. Like it's got everything you need.
If you need tickets, go to dowchampionship.com. If you are bringing your kids, if they're 17 and under, they get in for free. And if you are active duty or a veteran, they also get in for free.
Yeah.
So
I'm bringing all 8 of my kids tomorrow.
That's a callback.
Or 9.
Come on back. Well, hopefully we can see you guys around. If you see us, stop and say hi. It's always fun to talk to everyone here in the region. And with this big an event going on, I hope we see a lot of people here throughout the course of the week and the weekend. So with that being said, that's basically going to do it for us today. Kyle, any closing thoughts on day one here live on location?
No, we had a great time today, man. It seemed like everything went relatively smooth, so that's good. I'm just super excited to watch actual golf go down, man. I love watching golf.
All right. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. That was the Ben Bosscher Show live from the Dow Championship. See you guys tomorrow.